And hello. Hello, hello, hello. For those 10 of people or a dozen of people who watched the first episode before this one came out, apologies for the audio levels. Um, Best, if you're catching us now, best you do not listen with headphones on the first one. There's a lot of audio discrepancies between the different characters and the different voices. I think we've solved that. And, well, hopefully for the best for going on. So, who wants to make a little recap of the previous session? Or
No one can
Not
do
all at the same time.
yeah, or
That's always a bad question. Who wants to do it?
am
Well,
I going to have to volunteer someone?
no.
Yes,
I'll do it.
the bard
Okay,
does it. Ha!
Yes, let the bard do it.
Yes, the person with the worst accent does it. Uh, okay. So yes, last time we were made aware of a disease spreading across the coast, at least, and maybe the world, that affected people who had resurrections. And so we were missioned to seize the root of the scourge and eliminate it. And that root is in short.
Mhm.
So we were saying our goodbyes, basically. We were packing, and now we're about to throw a party before. No,
You
we're
did,
having that
you
party.
did, yes.
Yeah, we had that party, and I guess the departure is soon enough now.
Mhm. So yeah, so you had met with let me just verify their name again. Sindra Sylvain. Yes. um, so uh, you had a little bit of a surprise by being invited to the Yawning Portal by order of Ajrazafar. The Black Staff and your current employer has gray hands to find yourselves invited back, well, in the back by Durnan, and finding another Durnan in the bed, sickly with blackened veins and shriveled flesh. You were then brought to Sindra Sylvain, who seems to be a former adventurer, explorer, and map maker by passion, and she has managed, according to her, to gather a certain amount of information with regards to the continent of Chalt, and is ready to give you that map um, in exchange for your availability to get rid of the Soulmonger. You had indeed made last minute um, uh, purchases, tents and so forth, potions as well. Deciding, okay, well, and decided to organize a goodbye party with your friends and neighbors. Despite your best efforts and despite Sorsha's best efforts, you were not able to hide the seriousness of the matter from either your friends or, for some, your relatives. I love the both of them had the exact same smile at the same time. I love it. Um, as you um, so as the morning comes, we are a. It is a cold yet dry day, as there's no snow falling. Um, and the streets have started picking up again. Um, as you head down towards Sylvan's manor, there's maybe a bit of reluctance, a bit of anticipation, and a bit of excitement, all mixed in one, at different degrees according to who's feeling it. But as you come up to the door, Syndra's servant is expecting you, opens the door, and leads you again to the third floor. As you enter the room, Syndra doesn't seem to have moved. Nothing seems to have moved since you left the day before. She welcomes you with a cough and that wheezing voice that you had heard previously. You've come back. Um, you have made your preparations, yes?
Yes, we did.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Good. And she holds out a gloved hand towards the large table at the center of the room. On it, you find a scroll wrapped in, well, a scrolled case, large scrolled case. You can see that the scrolled case has minor enchantments to protect it from the elements, rain, cold, and so forth. Doesn't mean, at first glance, doesn't mean that if you put it in full water, it won't. It's not completely airtight, but it'll do in a pinch. Who moves up to it?
Gale, I would
I'll,
believe.
I'll look at the others. Pick the case and give it to Heinrich. I think this one would be better in your bag.
Open the bag of holding and
Do you want to have a look at the map before you?
Vroon, can you come over, please? Because we're going back home at your place, so a good pair of Choltian eyes would be handy also. So I open it up and I open it up and I start
Okay.
looking.
I shall put you on the map of Chult.
Yeah.
So please bear with the program. You're going to see a lot of little dots.
Oh, hexes.
Yes, a lot of little hexes that are going to appear.
Yeah.
By the way, to those watching, you will be seeing a lot more than they do. So keep the spoilers out of the comments.
Oh man.
So yes, you will be. So
That's a lot of hexes to fill.
right. So
Wait.
anything that you see is known. Anything that you do not is to be discovered.
Oh shit.
So there's quite a bit.
What a reaction.
Oh, your home is huge. What the hell?
I mean, yes, of course. Actually, my home is not that huge.
But still, what the hell? So many places. Okay.
That is a lot of territory for that soulmonger to hide.
Yeah, exactly.
To give you a scale, and we'll talk about travel once we get there. But each hex is at 10 miles and is roughly a day of travel.
Oh.
I just pick
On foot.
Yeah. I just pick
A mount.
one's shoulders and I'm like, so one thing that worries me is that it doesn't seem to have a lot of cities.
It
Look
doesn't.
at jungle, but that's an awful amount of jungle. I was not born for this, you know?
Sindra raises her voice, says, "There are settlement. There is only one city on Chult, at
One.
least occupied by northerners. That is Port Nyanzaru. But there are other colonies or dwellings of the more local variety. Kirsabal, for one, lovely people there. Arakokra, living on a high plateau. If you are looking for something in the jungle, that might be a place to inquire.
Oh boy.
All of this
Well,
information has come to me at quite an expense. Many adventurers and other parties have gone into the jungle, either paid by my services or I have bought maps from them. Please, this map is precious in both its knowledge and its secrets. Do not let it out of your sight. It is one of a kind. And, well, should you yourselves be able to fill it, I would be most grateful."
I close the map. I put it in, and I like, well, Vroon, it's one of a kind here. Plus, I think they will less go to you than to me.
I would argue that it is more difficult to get something out of a bag of holding.
But they can take the
But-
bag of holding.
That is true.
Do you have
It is never wise to put all your belongings in the same place.
Exactly. So I would be more comfortable with the map being with one of the people who live there.
Well, I will take it into my care.
And it's a higher reach from the orphans than on Heinrich.
That is true.
You've asked us to fill the map, but do you have material to fill it?
Yes, of course.
I also have a very lovely quill, actually.
She will gladly provide you with a cartographer's kit.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank
Can
you.
anyone use it?
I'm an
Not
artist.
proficient. You
Why?
might be.
Mm.
Nope.
Then we'll just have to use it unproficient.
Yes, exactly. Who knows? Someone might develop that skill
Yes.
at level 8 for some reason, along with 2 others if they take the feat.
Good bookkeeper's rules.
So yes. So I'm guessing who take the cartographer's kit?
I'll put it on my character because I've got
Okay.
the map. Makes sense to
So
keep that
yes,
together at least.
you can add to your inventory Syndra's map. So Syndra being Syndra. Mm. As she looks about the four of you, she asks, "Are you prepared? Shall we go then?"
More than ever. There's excitement in Prune's voice, like, oh.
Good,
Someone
please
is eager.
come forward onto the carpet. And you can see that her armchair is um, is seated next to the fire, but there's in front of her there's a large sort of circular carpet in the center of the room, and you see she tries to get up. It looks like an elderly person trying to raise herself out of a chair, as she's having some difficulty. Her servant rushes forward, but she sort of waves him off and says, "Leave me some pride, my friend." As she steps up, grabbing a ornate cane at the side of the chair, she almost lurches forward. "Please, join me."
I'll step forward and into the circle.
Same here.
Same.
As you step forward, you notice that she's the pommel of the cane is this um, quartz quartz like crystal, and she starts waving her hand above it, and you see the crystal start to glow. Pinpoints of light of different colors start not only joining in the crystal, but you start seeing almost as an underglow underneath the carpet. And as she finishes the incantation, you're gone. You feel a pull, gravitational pull, at the center of this circular carpet as you're rushed into the through the eye of a needle in interdimensional space. For a moment, you feel yourselves non-existent, less than a heartbeat, and all of a sudden, you appear back. The first thing that hits you is the heat. You find yourselves.
Well,
You
sorry.
find yourselves. Let's see. Here you go. You appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. A familiar sound of a harbor, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingling with voices shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language, filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruit mixes with the wharfside smell of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in shades of blue, green, orange, and salmon pink, or their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mystical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers, or is draped in leafy, flowering vines. Minstrels in bright clothing, adorned with feathers and shells, perform on street corners, many of them tabaxi. A crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes rushes right past you, squealing in terror as a street performer costumed as a big-toothed lizard stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. All but two people. Two men next to a small porter seat seem to be waiting for you. As Sindra sees them, both of them jog up forwards and fairly respectfully bow and help her along towards the palanquin. What do you do?
I'll follow.
Yeah,
I'll
probably.
follow also.
Where will we be going?
Yeah.
As Sindra sort of sees you approach, one of the servants addresses her in this language. Vroon, you understand it. And he seems to be asking her about the guests or the friends or those who accompanied. Um, in Chaltian language, guest and friend are the same word. The same way, uninvited or enemy are the same. She replies and says, um, sort of basically asks for a moment, and she addresses to you as you are now sweating profusely. You've not been here for 3 minutes. However, your winter clothing from the water from Waterdeep is ill-suited at best to this torrent of to this heat. And while Vroon, you feel yourself finally breathing again, and Gale, you don't seem bothered at all. Heinrich and Sorsha, how are you dealing with this?
Let's go save the world, they said. It would be fun, they said. He's very anxious, and you see that his eyes are darting everywhere, and he's like, nope, 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 nope.
I
He's
would
a bit stressed.
imagine Heinrich almost distracted from the heat by everything around, and
Oh
be
yeah.
not even noticing that Sylvain has left the group, as you're darting your eyes have are distracted by every single other thing distracting from the previous one,
Oh
as
yes.
all of this new information. Sorsha,
Well, Sorsha is probably doesn't even notice the heat before a few minutes because she probably has a rush back of paranoia, being
okay,
transported somewhere new and is looking everywhere and analyzing everything in a kind of survival moment.
so you've maybe taken a step back towards your companion, back trying to look for a comfortable
No,
shoulder or a back to lean on.
closer to my companions and aware, at least trying to be aware of everything. And
Mm-hmm.
only when she assessed that the situation is safe for the moment, she'll be, damn! And she probably just peel off and be on her undershirt or something because winter clothes, lot of layers, and she'll take off one layer or two. Like,
Hmm. You find yourself as well very, very pale compared to the rest of the people around you. As you'll
yes.
as you look around, the people of Chalt are dark skinned, matted hair. I mean, if any of you want an image, just think of the population in Wakanda, and there you go.
And they
Go watch Black Panther. It's worth it. Um,
white shoes, white hair, and alabaster skin kind of attract looks.
um, you do not attract the looks that you would have imagined. Um, you might have, um, at least not here. People are busy around, or they have things to do. You are on a wharf. You're on the docks, um, which means that. Wait, let me just put you on to the Port Nyanzaru. Here we go. There's the map of Port Nyanzaru.
they probably see a lot of things on the docks.
They probably yes, and they have something to anyone who maybe turns to sort of look you over or gaze at you is either chased away because they have nothing to do there or put back to work with a slap because they have something to do there. So let's have a look at the port. You've arrived. Let's see. If I remember correctly, you are in the harbor ward, and most likely.
Well, exactly.
That's what I'm looking for. I can't find the map here. This would be the. Okay. You've arrived just out here, just right. Actually, just here, right there.
Where?
Right here, just outside 13. So just outside the.
Are you on the right layer? Because we don't
I
have a ping.
might not be on the right layer. There you
And
go.
we also don't see the 13, of course. So.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Do you guys want to switch your colors back to what they were, or
Yeah, I might change something away from green.
green?
Because,
Yeah.
I'll take maybe
Because there will
dark
be
blue.
a lot
Yes,
of green.
there will be a lot of green to backdrop. So yes.
Gale, after having a look at Syndra, it was right? Syndra.
Mhm.
Gale is probably just looking around at the docks and just looking at the activity and feeling almost at home.
Mm.
You ever been to the port, Gale?
Once actually. Not long. It was a quick, was a mission, escort mission, and we were quite quickly away again. But yeah,
Well, welcome back.
thank you. I'm happy to have an opportunity to explore it more thoroughly.
Where the
I'll be
hell are
happy
we?
to show you the sites. We're in the harbor ward.
Yes.
Okay. Harbor ward. Okay.
Over here.
Yeah, I'm saying in
In character.
Yeah.
in
Okay.
character.
That's
Yeah.
Heinrich speaking, not Jin.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Where are we going now?
Syndra speaks and says, I will leave you to get acquainted with the city and start your search. There are many many goings on from the port to the jungle. Maybe, well, ask around. I will myself be. You will be able to find me at the Merchant Prince's estate, Wakanga Otamu.
Makes sense, of course.
Please, I will be there for a few days. He knows that I will explain the situation to him. The Merchant Princes are valuable allies if you stay respectful. Do not cross them. They are the masters of this place, more powerful than any hidden lord might be in Waterdeep. But, of course, and she turns towards Vroon, you know this.
I have a small question. How discreet should we be about the situation here in Port Nyanzaru?
There are many who would take advantage of the situation. Do not
Prince is
trust.
aware.
Maybe. The people here on this side of the wall have another relationship with death, and resurrection is not the same as where we come from. The merchant princes would not enjoy knowing that anyone might know that they may be toppled with a dagger. But please, let us not speak of this here. I would recommend that you look for the Thundering Lizard, an inn often visited by guides if you wish to go into the jungle. Or
Thundering
That's,
Lizard.
that's a bit of a noisy place, though.
if you are, and yeah, there you go. If you're looking for a more, let's see, there you go. Yes, if you're looking for a more restful place, Kaya's House of Repose is one that I've often frequented.
Be my suggestion as well.
I don't know. I quite like the name of the Thundering Lizard.
I guess you would.
Well, friends, I will see you later then. And she sort of nods her head, has a sort of a clicking sound as she basically says, "Go," to the two porters, who pick up and very quickly disappear into the crowd, into the street, leaving you to explore. So,
Well,
welcome to Port Nyanzaru.
Yay! Next
Boy.
step.
As you look about you, the whole exchange has gone almost unnoticed. You might be in the way for crates, boxes being pulled, tugged from ships. Okay. You might notice that there are small, small. They're maybe about the size of ponies or some of horses, but you can see bipedal, sometimes quadruped reptiles pulling heavy heavy loads, either stone or crates or woods, backwards and forwards through the harbor ward. While most of the population is, as I mentioned, of dark skin, I'm going to actually see if I don't have a handout for this. Let's. There should be. No, oh, come on! Please tell me that there. Player handouts. Here we go. Chilton handouts. Here we go. Show to players. So a quick idea of the kind of people you meet in the street.
Okay.
On occasion, you'll see water porters with large earth and clay jugs on their backs and tin cups that they would pass off. There are a few. There are a few people of lighter skin tones, especially around the docks, especially around the ships. All of them suffering from the heat. Um, you can see very sort of either very light robes or very large hats trying to cover themselves from the beating sun. As far as you're aware, Vroon, this is maybe mid morning. Bit of a time difference, but not too far. As in, this is not. The heat is going to get worse before it gets better. And you can see quite a few of of people either of Omnish or Baldurin or others from the Sword Coast, clearly leaving the work to the locals who are better suited to the heat.
Well, I suggest we start walking now before it gets warmer.
Wait, it
Sorry,
gets
what did you say?
warmer?
So, let's talk about the weather. It is currently roughly between 35 and 37 degrees Celsius. 200% humidity. As in, while the sun is shining now, you can feel the heat. The only comfort that you are feeling is coming from the breeze that is coming in from the sea. That is the only comfort
Ears.
that you have. Other than that, it is, as I mentioned, you are now soaked from head to toe. Apart from Gale, who seems to be in heavy armor, doing quite fine.
Well, I'm wet,
Actu-
but I'm always wet, so
and technically, you're steaming as well. I believe you've got this
yeah,
cold. Yes, your armor is dropping
still emitting mist.
this slow mist, though the mist is less going down than maybe staying a bit sort of around you as the magical effect has a difficult time adapting to the change of temperature.
Vroon, is there a place where I can take a bloody bath or something? You know, because and you see him shake a bit, and you see like some sweat flying around. You're like,
That would
And
be the inn. Also, I suggest taking off your cloak.
oh yeah. Sorry for that. And you know a place where I can buy a hat because I am not used to the sun. You know, sunstrokes and stuff like that, and
Well, that will probably be easiest in the market wards. But I think our if we want to go to the tavern, that should be close to the market ward anyway.
the better.
But that's still gross down.
Can I adjust my fabulous cape into adjusting
Yes.
to the weather?
Yes, you may. So, what does your cloak of many fashions turn into?
Somewhat like a short cape, like maybe until the elbow only, and with
With the hood?
a hood.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, the only change you see is instead of the normal clothes, you see a sort of tunic in crimson red that he's wearing. And for the rest, well, you see him very, very, very sweaty.
At some point, Heinrich is going to have that Alucard look with just the red leather jacket and nothing under, nothing underneath.
Don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas.
You know who I'm giving ideas to with all of this. The fan art is going to be incredible. Uh, um, mm, so Vroon, where do you take them?
Though Gale was sort of liking the name of the thundering lizards, I think we'll still go to the what was it? Chaos House of Repose.
Chaos or House of
'Cause
Repose?
Well, what else
we
did
can
you
afford
expect?
it, and we can, we might want to have people have some time to get accustomed.
Oh, before we leave the docks, Gil will stop just a short second by the side. Throw a token or a piece or something, you don't know exactly what, into the harbor, and just say something that you're losing in the crowd and in the wind and everything that's going on around here. And then she'll turn and go with you guys.
Okay.
Sea priest stuff.
Well, we didn't travel by sea, but we did travel.
That's true.
If you're having I could call Kumari, and if you prefer to sit down for a bit.
Yes.
While they're talking, I'm putting some salt and soot in the air, and I'm actually moving my hands, and I'm gonna cast comprehend language at the same time while we're talking and walking.
Okay.
So that for 1 hour, for the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear.
Mm-hmm.
You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written.
Oh, I actually
So
did not know about that second part that it had to be touched.
So for the moment, I'm doing like salt in the air and moving, and I'm like, come on, and then like, okay, for 1 hour I can understand
Mhm.
what the folks are saying.
I will call my Triceratops and sort of go like mostly to Heinrich and Sorsha, like, would you care for a ride?
I always love Kumari, but even also. Okay.
And suddenly she doesn't look out of place anymore because now there's all
Absolutely
sorts
not.
of other dinosaurs.
She actually looks
Oh,
as you are riding. So, Gale, do you want to? Are you jumping on top? I think Kumari, 3 people, and that might be a bit of a limit.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not going on. I'm not going on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm suffering, but I'm suffering with dignity.
oh, I'm suffering on Kumari.
You climbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's Nugget, by the way? The poor little weasel.
You tell me. I mean, right?
Buddy, are you okay? Is it not too warm for you?
As he appears, there's a fraction of a second where he still has that winter coat, and then immediately goes appears. There's a moment of him being completely stunned. I'm going, wait, what? And that heavy winter coat sheds and dissipates in your hands in a fraction of a second. And you have the clear mental message of coming from Nugget.
elf has.
I put him on my shoulder and I give him a mental message of anyone that comes close to me, you warn me directly in which direction.
Nugget is not listening to you. Nugget is on your shoulder, and as you turn to speak to him, he's on the other one. Then climbing down your coat, then up again, every single time with his nose twitching to the new smells and sensations of this place. He is if you thought you were in ADHD mode, Nugget is even worse.
It's good for once. Let's go.
As you what route do you take them on, Vroon?
I think we'll just pass by the main streets.
Okay.
So we'll probably just go like that.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Something like that.
That's a good walk.
it's a
Oh,
good
so
walk.
that's not a block. I was thinking that was a block, but maybe there's
No,
a tunnel.
that is actually a wall. So it's an
Oh.
archway. It's
Yeah.
It's an archway.
Yeah.
it's an archway. It's a gate. Yes.
Okay.
From what you can tell, is that the architecture, while the houses are as I mentioned, colorfully painted, the walls seem to be of a more sort of a less traditional build, more familiar to what you might see, something very Omnian, in to be precise. So it's very much northerner technology and building, even if the stone is local. And so there's this strange adaptation that has gone on, where you have these walls that have been built by strangers, and yet the colonists by the colony, but the colony has been retaken by new colonists come from the jungle and from the locality. As you leave the harbor ward, you find yourselves in less and less company of your northern brethren. And while, but people don't really stop and stare at you, unless it's trying to sell you things. You'll see children with baskets of fruit. Again, the water porters. Most of them going straight for the very uncomfortable looking Heinrich, um, or trying to sell flowers either to Gale, or trying to catch Sorsha's attention from high up, from where she is. The procession, but
Brun will quickly explain to them okay, so the best way to say no is to say it in Schultz and doing explaining basically because I know how important this was in Egypt, la shukran, just no thank you is very important to not have people bothering you all the time.
The what you do notice is on occasion that there's especially with sort of maybe smaller kids, you'll, as you're walking through the town, they'll be sort of sizing you up, but you start noticing that the attention is less on you or Kumari, as would be in Waterdeep, but very much on Vroon. And there's a moment where a group of children, maybe the eldest must be maybe 12, 12, maybe 13, darts out from underneath one of the tarpaulin, the comes up and basically goes up to Vroon, touches him on the leg, and then runs back. To very much and as he steps back, there's a you can see that the other three kids, who are all younger, still in this colorful. These are not, the traditional urchins that you might find in Baldur's Gate or Waterdeep. They are dressed in colorful, sort of wrapped clothing, colorful clothing. They seem to be almost trying to measure up their courage to do the same thing. Vroon, what do you do?
Get Vroon.
I'm sort of like there.
You tell them to come?
No, it
No?
was
Or
like, yeah, I guess it's sort of like, yeah, it's okay. Just
okay. You can see the eldest sort of pushing his the three that are there sort of towards you, and hesitantly, especially the smaller one, who might be 3 or 4 at the most. They do have a sense of similarity about them. You might think that they're part of the same family unit. And they come, and the three of you, so the three northerners, you can see a very strange sort of ritual, where you see the three kids sort of lift their hands up and try to touch Vroon's trunk. And there's a moment where they just place there's a word which is well, you would understand it,
Heinrich would.
Vroon, and of course you would understand it, Heinrich. The word is luck, and so it's luck, and they the eldest seems to look at you, Vroon, in earnest thanks, and sort of nods, mumbles a small apology, and then the four just sort of run off in the street.
Okay. Why did they say that word while touching you?
It's sometimes, well,
Is it a local custom?
in a sense. Of course, I guess I kind of look out of place myself now as well, considering the, well, new equipment I have come back with, but
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'd forgotten about that. Yes, you come back dressed in armor, in heavy armor as well.
Hmm. Okay.
shining blue plate.
Will that happen often?
It's usually the children.
Okay.
Hmm.
Parents tend to be of a different opinion sometimes.
Okay.
As you head towards the center of the town, you come, well, I'll say here. You know what? Vroon, I am going to add you the. No, maybe not. So here we go. Layer map. Oops, what are you doing there?
There's yes.
Yeah. Okay. I need to be more careful, I guess.
It happens. It's fine.
Yeah,
There's a
the thing is, this map is so loaded.
dense with all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first time that I actually see a map where they load potential encounters into the map itself. So,
Oh.
So, as we walk, I can go like, well, on your left, we have the dry dock, and on your right.
yeah.
Temple of Gone.
Yeah. So actually, if you, Jan, I'll leave that up to you. I mean, is there anything in particular that you want to? I mean, you have the annotated. You have a
Mhm.
small annotated map. So
I will definitely go like I will once we pass by. Well, when we pass here, I'll sort of. Oh, because I'm doing the ruler thing. Once we pass here, I'll sort of point in the direction of like up here, and go like, well, that is the Merchant Princess Villas. Actually, they're down there, but this is the villas, and then in front of us is the Grand Souk.
The what?
He's a sook.
Souk, a market, I guess.
Oh. Oh.
Okay.
So a souk is basically a covered market.
Yes, but Sorsha wouldn't know.
No, but what I'm saying is that I'm trying to understand the hesitation. I didn't know if it came from Vroon or if it came from Jan with regards
No,
to
it
how
was
to explain a souk.
Vroon going like, I mean, come on, it's a souk.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a pineapple. You never.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, the fruit around here are just bizarre.
Massive, probably.
Mhm. But yeah, everywhere you go, it's. But actually, as soon as you leave the harbor ward, there's much less people selling in the street. But you will still see, the same way people talking about more or less everything. Heinrich, you realize these people are no different from any other crowd that you would have in Waterdeep. They're discussing either one of the things that they are not discussing much is the weather, because that seems, I mean, but everything else, you hear rumors about family life, about business, about um, the latest sort of gossip about the temples and stuff like that. It's all around.
Okay. Say Vroon,
Mm,
like what kind of temples are here, by the way?
Well, way back over here, we passed by the. Wait, was it there? Let me check my map. No, that was. Oh wait, I did it all wrong. 8.
Eight would
So
be right
over here,
Yeah.
and what that was the
Okay.
Temple of Gond, and the big golden dome you see over there in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the Hall of Gold, the Temple of Joaquin.
Okay.
Um,
You
Just
see,
waiting to be settled.
he,
There's-
he, He's nodding. He's nodding like uh huh. But if you know him that well, he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But
Actually,
yeah,
you
probably.
do. No, actually, you do.
Seriously?
Joaquin is.
Yeah. What? Here's the thing: is that as you're talking about temples and the different gods around Port Nyanzaru, Heinrich, you're very surprised to know all of them. Joaquin, Gond, these are names that you know. These you
Okay.
were expecting a different continent, different gods, a different culture. But with regards to this, seems to be a standard uh, sword coastian, if I would use that expression, pantheon. Very strange.
Okay. Okay.
If you
I
want to
just
know
nod.
more about it, you can make me a
Yes.
roll.
No, I just listen to and keep an eye. I'm keeping an eye for a hat also. A nice, suitable
Would you
hat.
would you like to go into the souk?
Yeah,
First,
I'll definitely need a few clothes. Shopping. What you like the most?
and do we have like not water but like refreshing beverages or something?
Oh yes.
And you see him like with little puppy eyes, like taking your arm, like please, please.
Refresh
Well,
me.
like if since we're around the souk, let's go into the souk then.
Ah, yes.
Hmm. um, as you come in, as you come up to, let's see. Um,
The souk will probably be a dinosaur-free zone, I
Mm,
suppose.
well,
Except for horror.
there will be usually some
hmm. as you as you come up
products.
to, as opposed to many of the buildings that are sort of built out of stone and wood, this one seems to be. It's built. It's the pillar. There are pillars made of stone, but the rest seems to be heavy canvas or fabric that seem to cover the construction. You can see opened up. There are two large, uh, almost sort of heavy curtains that have been placed to each side, and you can see posted on each side are two city guard. Um, you would, of course, Rune, recognize them as wearing the colors of the merchant princes, but they don't. It's not. You would need to be local to understand that they actually are guards. If you did not, we're not seeing them there posted. They don't have it. They don't wear armor apart from the spears that they have, and a shorter. They seem to have at the hip the same way you would see batons in Waterdeep. They have this would be the sort of leaf-shaped blades about on about a foot, maybe a 2 foot long staff. These very sort of tapered, sort of almost like a spade, like the card suit. Spade shaped, elongated spade shaped blades, um, which are in the Commenton known as Ikwa. And they have the same blade, but mounted on long spears as well. As they as you come towards them, and I'm guessing enter the bazaar.
Mhm.
Again,
Yes.
you can, so the two sort of nod towards Rune, and again there is that clicking luck uh, uh, word that comes to them as you pass them by.
So I'm gonna pay you a drink, Vroon, and you're gonna explain a bit certain traditions because sorry, but everywhere you go, they're saying luck or something, and I want to know more about it. I want to know more about you, Vroon. And he gives a very big smile while sweating profusely.
Very
The,
well.
as you enter into the shade of the bazaar, the heat doesn't go away. If more, it is a heat that is intensified by the sheer mass of people in this enclosed space, and it is loud. The it is noisy, jostling. There is this mass of people moving all around. You have people shouting their wares from one end to another. Um, you will on occasionally hear a yelp from somebody as he's being jostled by kids running through the legs. It is very, very, very busy, and you can see wares being sold from all over the place and it's from fruit to furniture, from meat to weapons to thank you, strudel.
Mm.
That's something that you will not find there is strudel. Uh,
Oh
though
man!
it could have been imported from the Omnian colonists. I don't know. Um, but the heavy armored Vroon makes easily his way through the crowd as they notice him and they sort of again shrink away, and where he goes there's that luck, 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 that word that comes out. You find yourselves at so Rune, you were looking for something to maybe parch this man's thirst.
Yes.
You find yourselves at a fairly quickly um, towards this would be maybe a wine merchant who happens to have a small set of tables in front of his shop, which his shop is basically a very large cupboard closed by a wooden panel so that he would bring down at night, and it's just amphoras from and jars from one side to another, going up almost 2 stories tall. And you notice as you're coming up that he's talking to a customer, and once the deal is apparently done, he has this long hook, and he goes and catches an amphora from the top and brings it down to the wine. Coins are exchanged, and the buyer goes away with the amphora in his bag. The seller. Let me see if I can find a. Let's see if I have a portrait. Uh, Here we go. Where did I put you? There you go.
While they discuss on Kumari, even though I don't understand everything, I try to mimic what he said, so I try to catch things from language, try to accommodate.
There's quite a bit of
Catch
common.
the accent.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of accented common, and it seems that the difficulty with the understanding the languages is you notice you have an ear for multiple things because of who you are and what you do. While you don't understand the language, you do understand that there are maybe it's a mix of dialects, and that there are multiple languages, and sometimes they'll shift into words of common, especially for exotic goods. So they'll be using common words or omnian words for certain types of woods or certain types of foods, and you can hear that sort of mixed in a sort of a bastardization of their own language with the culture coming in from the different ports. And if you notice whenever there's because you see a couple of people, a couple of foreigners, if they're from Cormier or from or even Lantan, which is next door, they will use those words coming in. So those words of common and coming in. So at least here in the bazaar, it is difficult to pick up a certain language because you understand it. You understand what is being said or by gestures and stuff like that, because this is a place of commerce, and there's a lot of languages sort of put into the same way. If you go to Khan Khalil in Cairo, every vendor there speaks at least 7 languages. None of them correctly, but enough to sort of make the sale. And that is very much the ambience that you have here. The same way, Heinrich, your magic, you understand everything, which means that it is a cacophony of. I think the magic would let you understand, but you can still hear the words, I'm guessing? Or was
Yeah.
it a sort of instant translation? How would that work?
It's an instant translation actually of any language that has been spoken.
Right. So you're getting the instant dub, basically, from everything that's going around. And it is weird because on occasion you'll understand the language because you speak it in common, and then you hear the original voice of the person speaking it, and then the dub comes back in. It is literally mind blowing. It's kind of hard for you to keep track of everything that's going on. Um, the seller has noticed you coming forward, and his interest in his shop, and he says, in accent in common, which I will not try to do the accent for. Thank you. Says, "Welcome, welcome to my shop. May I interest you in something? Please come, come. And maybe something for your luck beast. Yes, though they get thirsty as well, you know.
The
Please
moment
come.
the moment he says luck
I
beast,
have."
I just look at him with a stare of excuse me, and I give him like the glare of what?
And then there's like a trunk that lands on your shoulder, and like, it's okay.
At the moment he was looking, he was sort of the moment that you put that glare, he was saying something about that he had plenty of sort of fresh wines for the heat, and he misunderstands your glare to something that he said to you. And he says, "I did not mean to offend. Please, I have a large selection of choices. Tell me what you would like, and I will find it for you. If it is not here, I have many cousins in the bazaar. We will be able to find whatever you need. Please come, taste. What is your wish for today, sir? Or the lady, perhaps?" And Kumari has not come in, by the way. Dinosaurs are not are were left at the entrance to disappear as soon as they were out of your reach for some for some reason. Yeah, there's probably a very confused pair of guards outside.
Nick, would you like to try some fish?
Tesh, yes, Tesh. A very good choice. And he sort of turns to you, Heinrich, and says, "Your beast here is a very good, has very good taste. Please, how do you like your Tesh? Sweet, a bit stronger, maybe."
Well, do you know what? I will give you a challenge. Bring me the coolest drink that you have. As
cool.
cool as possible.
Maybe not touch then. Yes. I have something. Yes, stay. And he sort of claps. And there's a again, you understand this because how long is comprehend languages?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'd still be within the hour. He says, "Go get the summer wine. Yes, that one." And the kid going, "What? Yeah, but no, he's important. He has a luck beast. He has to be important. Yes, he won't know any better. Go get it, quick. Go, don't. A moment, please." The kid sort of runs off, and he says, "My brother will find you something. Yeah. In the meantime, you should try the tej. Just a taste. Nothing. It's very local. Something you will not find on your shores."
Of course, good sir. I'll be buying the first round, so friends, will you share a glass with me?
Gladly.
And I look at the others.
Yes.
How much will it be, good man? And I look at him straight in the eyes.
He doesn't exactly there's a moment where he sort of does that judging gaze with you, and he says, "Hadib, sir. Call me Hadib."
Deep. Okay. How much would it be for?
"Oh, it is the first time I see you here. Yes, you are new in Port Nyanzaru.
I just nod.
So let this be my welcoming present from me. The first one is free, of course."
Sure. Hadib, thank you very much.
Again, he grabs the pole, and you can see him reach for a small sort of a small barrel. This one, compared to all the others that are earthenware, this one is wooden. It also bears a stamp on it as he brings it down. Uh, um, Again, Vroon, you would recognize this as being the stamp of one of the merchant princes. I just need to verify which one. This
They
would
all have
be
their own.
this would be Coyote, and yes, as he sees you sort of looking at the seal, and he says, "A mark of quality. A merchant prince would never oppose their seal on merchandise that is not up to par. You can be sure that this is the good stuff." As he grabs three sort of earthen cups, he starts pouring um, a fairly clear amber liquid, and the immediate scent that hits your nose is honey.
I take a sip.
It's um it's not mead. It's more of a what's the name of the spirit? So mead is wine, but you have the come on. We had that in Brittany. You know the uh
Ambrosia?
mm, no, anyways, it's sort of it's more of a
Honey
liquor.
spirit?
Yeah, honey spirit.
Honey liquor. Okay.
Yeah.
So more what is? Good question. I don't know right now.
Anyways, so it's fermented. It's fermented honey wine. So it's strong stuff. It's good stuff, but it's fairly strong, and you can understand that it is very very sweet. Um, um, and as he sort of looks towards you, and he says, and maybe, by the way, I didn't mention there were only 3 glasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I,
Um,
I I take a sip and I
I
just
think
give
Vroon
my
will make
full
a
glass.
point then.
I just give my full glass to Vroon.
No. He's like, no, thank you. And he steps up. He will go like, I would like a glass as well, please.
Of course, of course. Um, he said, "I apologize for any offense. It is, and this is in Chaltian."
Mhm.
And he says, um, "I do not mean any offense." And again, there's that word for it's not luck beast. It's sort
Mhm.
of it's a bit more honorific. It would be I think it would be something along the lines of child of Joaquin.
Mhm.
Or chosen of Joaquin, the child of Joaquin. I said, I meant no offense, child of Joaquin. It is just that the last one of your people that walked in, when I served him, his employer was quite offended. I have to be wary.
So sorry, I forgot. How much was it again for
Oh,
a glass?
uh, for you, nothing at all.
No, I insist. You know what? How about a, the bottle?
You are very generous. And again, he sort of I think let's see. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, so the 1 gallon cask would be 2 silver.
Oh, everyone will make a point of like reaching for his heavy ass coin purse and going like, and then just going like, well, here's a gold piece. Keep the change.
There's you put him in under a conundrum, as this is something that is not done.
Mhm. No, but
This is, and he sort of recoils as you put the gold piece, as he sort of extends his hand. He does no. I think that he doesn't extend his hand. It is something. Coin is never put hand in hand unless it's because it's too much of because it could call into a bribe. You see,
Mm,
the idea is that you do not count the money because you trust. However, you cannot count the money if it's in each other's hands before you accept it. But you put it onto the table and then so you put it down on the table and he's looking at this gold coin, at this golden dragon from Baldur's Gate, and you can see him sort of in a moment. There's a moment where he's going, especially when you say basically keep the change. That's when he probably gets that he understands not the insult, but maybe the reaction to the insult.
mhm.
And he is very. You can see that he's all of a sudden he's at very much unease. I don't know why I don't know why I tried. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um, as the brother comes back with this time sort of a large amphora, it sort of shows it to Hadib, who looks at it and says, "No, why did I told you the good." It takes the amphora, slaps the kid on the back of the head. The kid sort of looks at him, going, and just sort of runs off. I said, "I apologize. He's new in and this is one time in common. He is new in the business. He would not be able to recognize a wine from from marsh water. Please, something fresh. You said. Did you? I will bring this. And he brings out a what would it be? Um, I guess it would be a sort of a wine, but made maybe from sugarcane. So it's not
Mhm.
rum, but it is sort of and
Proto rum.
yeah, maybe proto
Proto
rum
rum.
or with but with there's a sort of flowery taste to it. As yes, very much that cooling taste as you drink it down. And he says, and this and he basically said, and this is for you, my gift as an apology.
What is the gift?
The gift is the amphora,
Total.
the flower wine.
Okay. Thank you. So, shall we find a place to sit and have these drinks?
Is there a sitting space inside the merchant's tent, or is it
No, so
Not
so
small
the
and
idea,
crowded?
no, there's it's too crowded for there to be actual seats.
Okay.
And his is really just, I mean, his shop is maybe a meter
Yeah.
50 from the wall, right? There's just these two foldable tables where he can where you have a small drink, and as you are drinking the wine on one end, another customer has come in um, and immediately sort of again the bartering there's bartering that starts in that whole thing.
What about we taste it in the inn? We just grab some clothes and take a room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Seems a good
Well,
idea.
A bit further, so a bit further down, um, you as you move sort of forward further into the bazaar. Um, as I mentioned, you will find timber, spices, jungle remedies, dinosaur skulls, raw iron, tiger pelts, carved ivory, um, strangely colored and carved wooden masks. Um, you'll have colorful feathers and weaved tapestries, fruit, and all the way to monkeys or dinosaur meat. The everything every stall is something new, something strange, something sometimes you think is recognizable, and then you are quite surprised when it isn't, when it ends up being something completely different. So you're looking for clothing?
Yep.
Okay. For 2 silver pieces each, you end up with a sort of the very sort of colorful local garb, light enough for it to keep the. I mean, yeah, it's traditional local clothing in a sense.
All right.
I'll grab a couple too, just to be a bit more discreet.
Mm.
But something that I can wear my armor over or under, depending on the cut.
Mm.
They
It's
have beautiful hats. A nice hat for.
yes. You notice that a lot of the local hats are. I'm trying to. Where did I? Uh, let's see. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, a lot of the hats are. You'll find actually a few that are offered that seem to have this very light netted fabric um, over over the top the front. So they sort of maybe closed in the back, and then sort of like a veil that you see in front. And you'll see a few Westerners walking around with the Westerners. Why am I calling Westerners Northerners? Walking about with these sort of netted fabric above their faces. Um,
Those, I believe.
hmm?
I'll take one of those unless my cloak of manifestation can transform.
So technically, your cloak of many fashions is not. So rules as written, it's just it has 5 or 6 that you just weave around. But let's just say that yes, it can copy it. Not a problem.
Okay. Or I'll
So,
just buy, but
hmm.
as you wish.
But I
Okay.
mean, it's again for 2 silvers you get a complete outfit, and feel free to browse Pinterest to find me the outfits that you found within within the theme. Um,
Very well.
I'm actually thinking, um, where was that outfit? Yeah, so Gale, actually.
Sorry.
I'm remembering that outfit of yours from
In my fancy clothing.
yeah, from your fancy clothing. That actually might work really, really well. So
Yeah, well, it's still fancy clothing, so
mhm, yeah. So
I'm not going to trek the jungle in my fancy clothing.
no, definitely not. Unless somebody has mending, which I don't think your wizard has.
No, but Gale
No,
has.
but I have.
Oh,
Cleric has, yeah.
there you go. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I retract my comment. Um, so yes, the you find yourselves you manage to change out of your heavy Waterdavian garb, stuff it into either the bag of holding because well, actually into the bag of holding because there is not enough space in this area to open your portable hole. And
I don't really want to display to everyone that we have a portable hole.
just the moment where the vendor a woman maybe she seems to be sort of middle aged sees that wad of clothing from two grown adults stuffed into a small haversack bag. She cries out in miracle is sort of the miracle and immediately tries to buy it off you um, and but of course the hag you know the again as soon as there is you can see around you there's a lot of haggling, there's a lot of discussing prices and so forth. um, that pretty much dies down as soon as Rune you realize okay prices is that's a good price. You are sort of the arbiter in this thing. A word or a nod from you ends any negotiation. um, they seem to be on the for the 3 others. You seem to notice that there's a respect. Um, there's a respect towards him, but also a disrespect in other ways. He's considered something maybe sacred, but not exactly a person. It's complicated.
Mhm. I think we kind of feel offended for him. The more and more we realize that, at least Sorsha start to frown upon whoever try to approach Rune and do things, even though she doesn't understand, but she doesn't like it.
Oh, Heinrich is just staying calm. He's trying to do very best he's calm out of respect for Rune, but you guys knowing him very well, he's boiling and biting his lip and And he's like,
You can see that Vroon is not too upset by it, but he was definitely having a lot of fun when he could show off that merchant.
Yeah, okay. And Gale is probably gonna stay near Vroon so that you don't get harassed. But she's not gonna intervene as long as you don't say or show something.
Mm-hmm. He's not really going into it just yet, and just
Mm-hmm.
there's you're not too bothered, but on occasion you'll be brought in. um, no, I think at some point as you are as your baby Sorsha and Heinrich have just come out of the clothing store, and then you finish settling with the merchant, and are trying to convince to make her understand that your bag of holding is not for sale, while she's saying that everything is, of course, for sale. um, then and I think she might be criticizing the bag of holding. Where did you get that again? Where did you get that
it
from?
was
Did you
bought.
bought it? Okay. She's
my
probably
parents.
she's probably talking about the cross stitching, how the fact that it's that the magic is incredible, but the workmanship of the bag is absolutely horrendous, and how she
I'm
would do it.
giving her the death stare now. I'm literally giving the death stare, like, and I'm just saying in common, stop. Just stop.
You are interrupted by a young man. He's maybe 17. Again, sort of richly clothed, but this one maybe a bit more than the rest. You can see that he has pearls woven into the um, into the accents of his robes. Um, there's you can see mother of pearl at his ear, and maybe gold thread at the shoulders, and he comes up to the group, and in common would say, "Hmm, would you find folk be the employer of and he sort of indicates, and he says the word in Chaltian for son of Joaquin. So there's you hear the word Joaquin and an adjective again, and
He says that in common.
so he says that in common. He says that in common, but the word itself is in Chaltian.
And who does he address?
He addresses the three of you.
Okay.
We are
As
his friends, and I accentuate the word friends.
he doesn't seem to sort of take the "Mm, my would it be possible to borrow or rent his services from you for just a moment to observe a transaction? It would be most welcome."
Ask
I look at Vroon.
I'm afraid not.
I understand. He seems to be he seems to accept it, though you can see, and he sort of as he bows or runs off. Um, you can if you follow him in the crowd, you can see that there are two men waiting at a shop a bit further down. The shop seems to be ore, sort of iron ore. Um, the man holding the shop seems to have a familiar, seems to be maybe the father of the young man. The other one is very much a how do you would call it, He's a northerner, but probably from Neverwinter, looking about the face and the features, and the you can see that there's an argument that goes on, and you can see the vendor sort of pushing his hands and sort of refusing. The northerner banging his hand, his sort of bracered hand against the the desk, I guess, the counter, sort of putting a finger right in the vendor's face and then storming off. And
I look at Vroon and will you explain this once we're in a quieter place?
Of course.
So let's go to the tavern now.
Yeah,
Good idea.
because I would like to know why we would be your employers and he wouldn't bother asking it yourself.
There's probably a funny moment on the way to the tavern where it's like, I've lived in that house over there for a while, and then there's probably like a very small house with a very large door,
Yeah.
and like, but you can tell from the outside already it's not more than a studio apartment,
Yeah, okay.
but it's just got a very large door at least.
As you move as you exit the bazaar and you move south again towards the market ward, you do you do spot another Luxodon, sort of crossing the street. He you can see him pulling a fairly heavy wagon. Um, seem to be bothered by the extra weight. But you can see he's pulling the cart, and behind him there's another cart. This time dinosaur driven, and the same sort of they're probably pulling lumber towards the docks docks over here. So he's coming in. If I would put he he would be sort of walking this way towards the
Okay.
docks as you meet him as you cross his path about here.
I mean, I will definitely greet him in Luxodon,
Mm-hmm.
saying something along the lines of like, "Greetings, brother."
He which I mean, Loxodon language is as soon as you raise your trump, you trumpet, you trumpet through it. It's something that echoes through the street. And he turns and replies, and it is again that same, but it's cut a bit short. As you can see him, he's wearing trousers, maybe a sort of a sash around his waist, but nothing much more. There are golden bands about his tusks, um, leather bracers, but not much more. Um, no, he would be wearing the rings of a young man, sort of not yet to adulthood, and which Vroon would recognize, but you wouldn't. But yeah, he's definitely wearing the earrings and the bands and the chain that indicate a young man, um, just before becoming an adult. And as you and he sort of looks at you, and there's a moment of maybe a puzzlement as he sees you in full armor. But there's maybe a sort of a shout, an answer from his part, and which is which would maybe just be considered as a grunt for people who don't understand Luxodon, but to you, it's "shut up, asshole," and it just keeps going forward. It'd be more, no, it'd be not "shut up, asshole." It'd be more like "prick," and then just and it, again pulls the cart, sort of bows towards you and heads towards the docks.
I will definitely make note of his face and
Okay.
go like,
It's a nice city for Luxodon, right?
Yeah, well,
not all
Apparently.
bad. There's
Well.
still opportunities as well. I
I
mean,
hope so.
look
Yes.
at me.
City, but for the few we saw, it's not very pretty.
Well, it's complicated.
It does seem so.
As you let's see, you keep moving towards. Just want to see something here. Okay. As you move down towards the market ward, you start seeing shops. You start seeing, instead of the bazaar where everything was sort of crammed and everything had, where you basically, yeah, here you starting to have shops and artisans, and you start seeing um, um, okay. This is very much the area where the traders and the merchants live. It's actually quite a rich place, and the houses are intricately decorated with frescoes and other decorations, whether it be flowers and such. There's a moment just about when you're coming, maybe right here, where there's all of a sudden there's a bit of shade. Heinrich actually Heinrich, Gale, Sorsha, you start feeling a bit at ease. As in the sun is being covered. There's a moment where you can sort of relax. Vroon, you know what's coming, and there's a bit of a smile on your face as you're hearing the contented sighs from your companions before there's, without even a crack of thunder, all of a sudden a sheet of water just drops onto the city.
And that's when Gale smiles.
Yes.
No!
Immediately, you are under a warm shower. The drops are there's a moment where Heinrich, you can feel the hat almost sort of bending. You can feel the impacts underneath the cloth of the hat and your shoulder. Now you kind of understand why these are such large brimmed hats, as in you realize that you could catch a bruising on your shoulders with the size of these droplets.
Well,
Actually, true story in India, by the way. Uh, spent an
Well-
hour in a pool during monsoon. We had bruises on our shoulders. Yeah. Yeah.
Gil looks at Heinrich and says, "Well, you wanted a bath. It's a shower, but
You can see as soon as the rain starts to drop, you can see there's all of a sudden a rush of activity as large conic cloth rain catchers are pulled away from the buildings, the side of the buildings where they were being kept, and you can see these large barrels that are being all of a sudden filled with the rainwater. Um, it the rain itself lasts for maybe 5-10 minutes at the most before it sort of relaxes, um, and then after that, that rush of activity starts again, where everybody sort of puts them away from the sun's rays, and but now the port the streets, there's maybe 5 or 6 centimeters of muddy rainwater just rushing across the flagstaffs on the ground, and before it sort of fades away, and as the cloud moves on, again that heat bears down. But now you find yourself almost in a cloud of vapor, as every single wet surface all of a sudden dries almost instantly in the sun.
Rune, are we there yet?
Almost, actually.
Could everybody make me a perception check?
Oh, sure. First roll of the night.
Oh yes.
Oh, Rune. Okay. Oh, Rune.
Hey, if it's smell related.
It is not smell related, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Okay. As you're crossing,
I'm probably just too happy to be home. I'm like,
yeah, you're probably still concentrating on Heinrich looking down at his boots in an inch of water and wondering, um, when there's a shout, um, male voice, and as what you were coming up on a part of a building being renovated, and a large piece of timber sort of falls towards you, Vroon. So, Vroon, could you please make me a dexterity saving throw? Okay.
17.
The heavy piece of timber. It's about I mean I would say it's roughly about this size, about a meter and a half long, if not a bit longer than that. It's this sort of heavy piece of timber, the kind that you use to prop up the roof, sort of is falling. And as you sort of move back, it just crashes in front of you, followed by a rain of sort of bamboo and bamboo sticks that were on the scaffolding. As you look up to where you had heard the shout, you can actually see a man sort of holding on by one hand on at the top of the scaffolding.
How high is that?
He's maybe about 3 or 4 meters up, so that would be 15-20 feet.
It's more than a rune height.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah,
20 feet. Let's see. How much is the normal high jump again?
So long jump is your strength, I think. Correct?
Mhm.
Let's see.
If
Yes.
you actually
But
click features and traits, or is it?
equipment, I think, maybe.
No.
No, that's also not it.
Uh,
Let me handle that. I touch you and just let me handle that.
okay.
And I cast levitate on the guy.
Isn't wait,
Is it
levitate is
touch?
a touch?
No, it's not written.
Let's
It's
see.
verbal, somatic, and movement, but it's not.
Range 60 feet. Yes.
Yes,
So as you
actually not clap, but yes.
yeah, how do you I think levitate is that in your spell or is that from your loot?
From my loot.
Okay. So you bring out your loot, strum a chord, and all of a sudden the man who's sort of trying to grab on, you can see one of his colleagues or friends or companions is trying to get to him, sort of moving the debris apart. All of a sudden he has this moment where it goes, and his eyes go wide, and he sort of moves up, and he's not understanding what's happening.
And I put him down slowly.
It's as he slowly comes down, his feet touch the ground, and then sort of he keeps going down, puts his hand on the his hands and his forehead to the floor, and you can hear a sort of a sort of this would yeah, it's a short prayer to Joaquin, not to Joaquin. This would be Timora. Timora is luck.
Yes.
Um,
And
and
then you
let's see.
Sorsha,
Let's see.
you know.
Let's see. Would he? Yes. Um, as he turns to wait, what did you 5 8? Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just the jumping
Oh.
calculator.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's good to know.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
keep that in. Um, so as he comes to you, Sorsha, and sort of again, in a bubbling of words, thanks you in Chaltian. You don't need to understand the words; you understand the sentiment very much.
Mm.
There's a lot of this.
Yeah, there's exactly. There's a lot of it, and there's probably it's a they seem to be a very sort of a very tactile as he comes up and he sort of presses his hands about yours or the where the loot is maybe. Um,
He does what?
so he comes up and sort of there's a moment where his first instinct is maybe to come and um, touch.
Uh-uh. Don't touch the stuff.
No, as in, but yeah, he realizes that you're a foreigner, and so he says, "Oh, okay, you guys don't do that." And so again, he sort of backs up it's a half a step, and then
It's all right. It's okay.
um, Sorsha, you mentioned something about the screen.
Yeah. I see rune screen being green.
See it on Heinrich, but
The Heinrich is just
that's
that is
because
changing
of
his color.
Now
Yeah,
Heinrich
it's
is
now it's
just
bluish.
changing colors.
But mine.
You're pretty fine. It's just me that because
Yeah.
I'm so magical, you know.
Yes.
yes, Jin, you are fabulous and have been forever.
Everyone loves magical Heinrich.
Says the Bluebeard.
Yeah, well,
See.
Okay. On that note, do you guys want to take maybe a 5-minute break?
Yeah, sure. Tea time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
all right.
Time.
We'll be back.
Perfect.
I will put this on pause for the moment, and for us it'll be 5 minutes, and for those, well, for them it'll be less than 2 seconds. So, be right back.
I have warm tea.
And that was a blink of an eye. So, there we go. We're back. So yes, we've left. This man is sort of apologetically bowing and scraping in front of you. There's now in the street in front of you, sort of barring your way, is a jumble of half-fallen um, wooden beams and masonry and bits of scaffolding sort of have fallen off in the middle of the street. It's nothing that a bit of rune muscle could sort of muscle through, but there's definitely a crowd sort of coming in, sort of amassing around the area to see what happened. Nobody's hurt, thanks to Sorsha's clever reflexes and magics.
Vroon's clever reflexes for not getting hurt.
Also,
That is true. It's basically vloop, boom. Okay. And as you move in further up the street, you come to a unassuming house. The front is painted in a sunset orange. There are vines that have been planted along the edge of the rooftop, and so there's this green and this green how should I call it, tree. Oh boy. Anyways, green vines peppered with orange or purple orchids within the vines seem to be falling down the sides of this building. There's no sign. You just know it, Vroon, as being Kala's place of repose. As you, I'm guessing you knock.
yes. If the door's not open and not invitingly open, I mean, we knock. Well, I knock.
As you open the door and walk into a low, for Vroon, ceilinged room, but very quickly onto the other side, as soon as you close the door, the bustle and noise of the street sort of fades away to a gurgling of water from a small fountain set at the center of this room on the inside. There are cushions laid a bit all over, and you can see a pair of tabaxi lounging in a corner. One of them sort of turns his head towards you. The other one doing the cat thing, which is sort of completely leaning backwards and looking at you with their head upside down over the cushion. And seeing that you are not of any particular interest, to go back to their water pipe. You don't have to wait very long before an older woman, very much local, comes sort of walks in from a side door carrying a large tray with a tea set and 2 glasses, and brings them towards a small it's not even a table, it's sort of like a small peg in the floor, on which she puts down the tray, and the tray itself serves as a table for the 2 tabaxi. And as she turns towards you, he says, welcome to my home. There's a moment as she looks about you and goes, Vroondomon, is that you under there? Yes. That is you. What are you wearing? No, that cannot be. Not in this heat. Come in. Who are these? And that's when she turns into Choltian, and she says, "What are these barbarians having you wear? Does it?
They are
Do they feel that gives you any extra protection, or is
no,
that
no.
is that what they're doing? Are you a
They
bodyguard
are
now?
they are my friends.
Oh, good, good, good. I will have to treat them well then. Then,
I will say it back in common, by the
yeah.
way. So like,
And to which
this
she
is
she replied in comment and goes, "Oh, never mind all of that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please come. Let us let these two to their affairs. Please come into the garden." She leads you to the back of the room, where it's basically you start realizing that this room is only three walls and the rest is one large curtain, which she moves about, and you move into. Well, you were a bit afraid. The coolness of the room was giving you a bit of reprieve, and as you move back, you're expecting, oh no, not the sun again, not the heat again. But as you move into a small courtyard covered with the drape above that also serves as water catcher, you can see that there's a small garden, and the the small fountain that was in the center of the main room trickles down, cooling the garden area at the back. Please come, sit. Now, what can I get you? You seem, warm. I will make you some tea. You stay here. I will make you some tea. And as you sit down in this cushioned area, she leaves you to any conversation you might want to have.
She seems like she knows you well.
mm, yes, I have been here before.
That's the first person to really talk to you.
Well, we have not been here very long yet.
So, can you explain a bit what was going on before?
Well, my people are not originally from around here. I mean, we are from Schultz, but like, hold on, and then grabs the map, and then points at the islands to the northwest. Like there, the Mother of Mists. Ma, Maon, Mataon Kinman. That is where I originally come from.
Okay.
But I have lived in this city for over a decade as well. But people are superstitious. They think we are good luck, especially on ventures into the jungle.
The clanking of glass on tin resonate behind you as the figure of Kala herself, who sort of ushers into the. Yes, these idiots would believe anything if it would bring them luck and prosperity. They have forgotten the old ways. Huh, very much like the old ways have forgotten them, huh? Oh,
Yes, indeed.
no. These days, everything is about Joaquin and Omnian pantheons. Uh, my grandmother used to tell me that things were different back then. But, well, you can't force a god to come home, huh? So now they decide that everything has to be about luck and about money. And when you find what they call clever beasts, things that resemble the things that resemble the thunder lizards in size and in strength, but can also speak and think for themselves, and that you only have to explain once, ah, that for them is lucky. And so Luxodon become luck beasts. I know better.
Hmm.
Obviously.
This old woman has seen many things, and many people come by. Many peoples. I saw
There
it.
are still those that can see beyond the appearance.
Oh,
Can
I see.
understand.
I see your appearance, and I know that you are not sacred. I have seen you, Vroondomon, and I have seen your friends and your brothers, and I know that you are not sacred.
I look
You
at her.
eat and shit like the rest of us.
I just look at her with a big smile and say, like, go on.
Yeah,
Go
some
on.
that would like to hear too.
And it's with a very pointed smile that she starts preparing the tea for you. Uh, she has a sort of a wide jar with tea with both with two wide jars, one with tea leaves, dark brittle leaves, and in other ones you have a very fresh mint, which seems to be growing from this garden as the smell of mint is filling the air underneath the tent top. And she brings in she crushes some of the leaves. She brings some of the others in this mixture, um, and pours the hot water above them, and says, It sort of looks to each of you in turn, and she says, "Yes, I have seen many things. I have seen you, for example, young man, rich. Hmm. You will want something sweet." And she takes in from one of the pots. She takes in with a spoon two. She takes in two sort of spoons of sugar that she puts into the cup and puts it in front of you. Turns to Gale and says, Those scars tell me, yes, I have also seen your kind here. Mm, no, too military. Only one spoon, I think. No more. Maybe one half.
One, please.
One then. One, yes. She turns again um, to Sorsha, and he goes, no, no sugar for you. Something else. Yes, yes. Um, hmm. And she actually pours in, she looks at the instrument, looks at you, and says yes. And she actually puts in, she from one of she takes in a small vial, and seems to pour in the same kind of liquid that you bought earlier. Mm. Sweet, but with a kick. Mm. You, Vroondomon. If I didn't know any better, I would just pour you the hot water in a jug itself. No, but I know that you do things correctly. Hmm? By the rules, always you. 2 spoons, that is then.
Mm, thank-
but the cup is larger. Hmm.
Of course it is.
You notice that there is a fifth cup on the tray, and she only serves herself hot water. Nothing at all added. So tell this old woman.
I mean, Vroon knows what it means, so
Tell this old woman. Why have you come? The jungle, then?
yes, the jungle. Though we only arrived here very shortly ago.
I could tell. This one is still wearing her armor.
Well,
And I
wearing
will continue
armor
to do
around
so.
Waterdeep, not a bad idea.
True, but this is Port Nyanzaru. Things are different here. Murder is slower and never during the day.
Lower.
Yeah.
Would you care to explain that?
People have been murdering me all my life. One day it will work, but not today.
Huh.
Interesting.
I wonder if there's a poison that can kill you.
My own spit, if I would understand my neighbors. But I will bury them and their children.
Ah, I don't know how you met that lady, but I like her very much.
Staying under a roof.
I have a reputation. This house is a place of calm. But anyone knows, to protect the calm, there must be a storm. That is me. And she smiles. And you notice a couple of her teeth missing?
She's perfect.
So, why? This one seems rich enough. Doesn't need to go on an adventure. Scholar, maybe.
Practitioner of...
We are all quite rich now.
So that is why you are wearing metal.
Not
Are you showing your riches
any
now?
metal.
Are you showing your riches? Are you wearing your property now? Are you that vain?
I am wearing protection appropriate for the dangers that I have faced and will face.
I would have expected your hide underneath to be stronger than this. But no. I will stop. I will keep my venom for my enemies. So what is it you seek?
A good guide, maybe?
Good idea, good guide.
If you're looking for a good guide, then don't look in Port Nyanzaru. Do not even look on Chult. You will find guides, yes. Good guides? No, you will not. The only good guide on this continent left 200 years ago.
And what of the average guides? The correct ones.
Yeah.
Down the street, they hang around at the Thundering Lizard. See the boards there. See who's in town.
Okay.
All right.
And be wary. Most of them are treasure hunters of their own sort. But those who come back, they can be trustworthy. At least to come back. But you have Vroondomon with you. That is good. I don't know if he's much of a guide, but
In the jungle, I'm afraid not much.
yes, but you came back.
Yes.
Well, can we have a few rooms for a few nights, maybe?
Yes, yes. I will arrange that.
Thank you.
Of course. I can see that you can pay, so. And she winks. So actually, for the rooms, it'll basically cost you a gold a night for one room, as in there are two available should you wish that.
A room for the girls and a room for the boys.
I don't know
I
how
guess.
you you do what you want. Yeah, it's a,
I don't care. I'm used to bunking with on a ship, but maybe it would be smart seeing the amount of space that Vroon takes to split up.
Okay, we'll just throw out Heinrich when we change.
we can split just normally. It's
I
fine.
just again, Vroon, if we go to the room, you take the left side, I take the right side. How big are the rooms, by the way?
the rooms are about. I mean, they're comfortable. They wouldn't need to be that spacious actually, because it's not. You don't have. It's not a poster bed. It's not. It's not. It's. Um, these would be sort of mats, comfortable mats and cushions on the floor. It's not like you need sheets or a duvet, right? This place is never going to get any any cold. Um,
And feet, 15 feet?
yeah, pretty much around that. Yeah.
Good, just the right size for what I want to do.
Oh, you want a dome?
Oh yeah,
Inside?
I'm gonna dome. I'm gonna dome. Oh yeah, you want to kick out me out of the room while you're changing? I'm gonna make it comfortable for me and Vroom, and we're gonna do a boys' night. Come on.
Do you really want to watch? Because I'll think you two are red in an instant.
Oh, I will say this: Heinrich is red from head to toe, but that's mostly due to the sun and the heat. So I don't think you would notice him blushing.
Not right now, at least.
Exactly.
And I'm tapping and I'm tapping Vroom like, huh? Wanna do a boys' night?
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
Good.
Sorsha, if we sleep
Yeah.
together, at least we won't have Heinrich snoring in our ears all night.
Why do you think he didn't get a room at the tavern?
He wants to say something. He becomes silent and he has that look of melancholy somewhere, and he starts to look in his cup a bit silent.
Come on, you can always message your mama.
I have never noticed you snoring.
You know,
Some
it's
And
the
I
might
have big ears.
some might
you-
say the snorer is actually Nugget.
you know, it's the first time I actually went this far.
Ah,
So
Yes.
yeah,
It's exciting, but it's scary, isn't it?
yeah, you just see him nod while looking at his cup. Yeah, well, yeah.
yes.
By the way, Kaya
I-
has left. Kaya has finished her
Yeah.
drink and she's left.
Mhm.
She's off to to do her own thing. So you are
I'm
left in the
just
garden
gonna
of the four of you.
offer. I'm just gonna offer Kaya my unseen servant to actually help out in whatever she needs. I like her that much. I'm like, if you want, I'll lend you my unseen servant here.
There's well, first of all, it takes 10 minutes to cast, so she's already gone. Secondly, if at any point a immaterial invisible force starts moving things around in her kitchen, she's coming for your ass.
I'll use unseen servant to fan my own ass then.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm guessing you and Sorsha. So there's a pair of fans, sort of going up and down. Okay.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a great idea.
A Nugget is on your sort of leaning on your shoulder, the shoulder closest to the fan, just on his back, belly up towards with the leg with the just the tongue lolling out and just. This is not the good weather for fur.
I'll also summon my pet. Yeah.
Okay.
But not on its geyser form.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Your pet. So Laryl, as you've nicknamed it. So when you it's every time you summon it. So currently every time you summon it, it every time you cast the spell, you can change its shape. To cast the spell, it costs 10 gold in incense and other materials. And at that point, you basically redraw the contract and you choose its form. During from the start until you redo it will keep that form until you redo the spell. So basically, to change its form, it'll cost you 10 gold each time. Every time, but as long as the spell is active, which is as long as you live, basically, you can just snap. It appears, it disappears into its own little half plane of existence. So it's not like I appear, it's a gazer, disappears, and it comes back as a crow. You need to change its shape. You basically need to do the whole ritual again.
Okay.
So if you want it to be in another shape, no problem. It's just that it will appear, and as long as you don't cast the spell with the components, it will stay as the shape that you decided now.
Well, in Waterdeep, I couldn't keep it in a geyser
True.
form way. So I think it's probably in its raven
Okay.
form. A raven with too many eyes.
Yes. I'm actually wondering how many eyes does a gazer have?
5.
Yeah, it says it
Stalk
has.
and one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah, indeed, it probably has a sort of 2 on each side and 1 at the front, on the forehead. Something. It's so these black beads of eyes around the crow. The crow around as it appears. What would be what's Sorsha's alignment, if she has one? Did we decide on that?
Yes. Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Okay. So you have this gazer. So Laryl comes in their crow form, and Laryl doesn't move its head, right? Because it has the eyes all over the place. But you can see the orb sort of move, which is not something natural for a crow. So it just the thing moves about and it sort of hops to one side, hops, and um, it seems to want to move about, but doesn't really know what to do. It's jumpy. It's and definitely has an eye towards the ferret on the other shoulder.
Be good. Explore. Look around if you want. But be good.
It hops off your shoulder, takes a flat and actually finds a part. It basically flies out from the garden. You did tell it to explore.
No problem.
Okay.
I'll just sometime keep in touch. So
I mean, at any point, you just snap your fingers and it's right back on your shoulder. So.
Right.
It doesn't take too long until you realize you get that impression of something happening. You're going, wait, no. Clack it in. And it comes back and it has, in its mouth, it has a piece of food that's busy sort of gulping down. Yeah.
I said be good.
You have the distinct impression that he was good. He was feeding.
Don't steal.
Now that you never said. It's an alien
You never
mind.
said be lawful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not either. All right, so what do we do? Do we try to find a good guide?
Well, I suggest that we start with visiting the prince, or at least his mansion, as there's the mage that teleported us here, staying there, but also another one that was at the Thunderstaff mentioned before, and of course Obaya would be there as well. So I would like to see some people there.
How many of those princes are there, actually?
7.
7?
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll follow you because, well, no one.
You're the one who knows this city.
Divine beast.
Also, hasn't Follow traveled here as well?
Yeah.
I wonder where he would have gone. Though, honestly, I expect that again Prince Wakanga would probably be a good bet to find out.
So Wakanga Otamu. Basically, I'm going to. I can give you the different princes. I will write this down for you so that you can at a
Okay,
later
thanks.
point, so that you know who to talk to. So Rune, you explained to them. Basically, the city is ruled by these merchant princes, and each merchant prince has the monopoly on certain goods. Wakanga Otamu, for example, he deals in magic and lore. But then you have Ekene Afa, who deals in weapons, shields, traveling gear, rain catchers, saddles, wagons, and canoes. You have Ifan Talroa, who deals in beasts and beast training. Let's see. Jessamine, who deals in plants, poisons, and assassination. Jobal, who deals in guides and sells swords. Coyote, who deals in fruit, wine, ale, tej, oil, perfume, and insect repellent.
We already saw her seal.
Yes. Wakanga Otamu, so deals magic and lore. Tsanti, who deals in gems, jewelry, cloth, and armor. So if you're looking for items in those categories, then they basically deal with everything with regards to that. Any merchant who would sell one of those wares would be working directly for them. So that Hadib definitely he is paid. He is under the employ of Coyote.
The only name that I probably know is Jabal, because if I had a mission here
Yeah,
as a
Jabal. Yes,
mercenary,
absolutely. Yeah. You would have dealt. I don't think you would have dealt with Jabal.
no, but I would
You're-
know the name.
You would have heard of him, yeah.
Yes, it would be his seal on any contract, on the escort contract that you would have. If it were a yeah, you probably escorted a Chaltian merchant of some sort or an envoy from him, and so the merchant would have gone through Jabal. Jabal would have been a broker. There we go.
Don't die.
I'm not planning on to. Anyways, move on.
Oh, yeah. We follow you.
Let's go.
Well, if you're ready to travel already, then we need to travel back.
I'll probably just take 5 minutes in the room to put on a more local outfit, because I didn't do that at the merchant store.
Yeah.
Are you taking your armor off then?
I don't need to, so no, I'll probably keep the armor.
So maybe have a wrap. So that maybe a sort of a
Yeah.
long scarf above it.
Yeah, around. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, your armor is no. You wouldn't be. I mean, the armor you're wearing splint, right?
Yeah.
What does splint consist of?
Metal plates, right? Like interlocking metal plates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, it's. The armor is made of narrow vertical strips of metal riveted to a backing of leather, which is worn over cloth padding. Flexible chainmail protects the joints. It's a fairly. There's no wearing clothing above it or underneath. It's a full thing, right? No, I mean what I'm saying is you could have a scarf over it or some decoration, but it is a full suit of armor. You're not going to be wearing clothing on top of it, and underneath it would disappear under the armor. The armor is fully covering.
Rune, are you keeping the armor, or are you?
Rune is definitely keeping his armor on as a statement.
Fair enough.
I'll keep
Like,
it on.
it's mostly for because it's like like he's making a point of like at least to have people second guess, like, wait, but what the hell is that Luxodon wearing?
I'm sending on visual aids the costume of Heinrich.
Okay, so very much Prince of Persia.
Can you? I have a question. Slavery doesn't exist here, right?
So slavery does not exist in a colonial way. But slavery does exist as a method of paying debt or just being employed by somebody, being indebted or what's the word? Um, it is more of a it wouldn't be indentured. I'm trying. What word am I looking for?
Indentured servitude,
Indentured.
yeah.
Yeah, indentured
Indentured.
servitude. So, for example, you would have servants, families of servants that would be working for another family of merchants over generations, for example. It is a form of slavery, but there is nothing the same way as colonialist slavery, which is we are taking up people, we are putting them to work, and we're treating them like
There's not
animals.
going to be a sale of
No, there wouldn't
people.
be.
Like,
No,
it's
no, no,
not going to
absolutely
be, I'll buy that one. Like, no, it's
no, no, not here. No.
Perfect. Just making sure.
If you want to buy slaves, Menza Benzerin is not too far away. Just go down.
It's okay.
I'm sure there's a portal somewhere. Um, but no, it's yeah, which is kind of how the way that maybe the Luxodon are treated are, again, they're sacred beasts. They are intelligent elephantine dinosaurs in a sense. They are treated very, very well. They are considered they're seen as the children of Joaquin, as in having one with them is they're good luck charms, right? Having them during a sale or having them during business negotiations will bring Joaquin's favor on that transaction. If you go into the jungle, well, the rates for a Loxodon are very, very high. Um, and as well, um, having a Loxodon in your employ is something that you keep, and so therefore you treat them well. But they are considered good luck, which means on occasion you'll have children run up to them and try and touch their trunks for good luck.
All right.
But yeah, but in a sense they are considered for many as intelligent beasts, like a I'm not going to say trained monkey because that's not what I mean, but as in slow of they probably mistake the slow
slow
speak
speech
for
or
stupidity.
stupidity.
Yeah, I think that's what we had discussed. Yeah. So the slow um, um, le côté languinant, if in French, of the Loxodon is considered as being slow in mind.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's basically slow.
Yeah.
The fact that your movements and that whole restful kind of slow, methodical, but is seen as being a bit slow in the head. Which, from what you've seen, Vroon can be very fast if he wishes to be.
And even faster now.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go first? Vern?
Are you asking me where I want to go first?
Yes.
I mean, well, I would like to see Obaya again. She was
Okay.
a good traveling companion. And considering that he is also in the employ of Prince
Who are you looking
Wakanga.
for?
That was it.
Yeah, Wakanga, Otamu. Just remember, Otamu.
Yeah.
And does she
Um,
so to hold the song?
Actually, Obaya would not be in the Merchant Prince's employ. She would have been. She was part of the delegation as an envoy from the Temple of Joaquin. She's a priestess of Joaquin, so she would not have been in the expedition. Would most likely have been a joint expedition organized by the princes. They would have sent delegates from each of the merchant princes along with you. However, actually, you would have been most likely sent um, under. You would have probably been Jobal's representative. Of
Okay.
course, the idea is Jobal would there would be
Because guides.
because guides and sell swords, but you know very well that Jobal would never have trusted a Luxodon in this to sort of report. So there was a probably somebody else put in. So there were two of you maybe, but anyways, the fact is all of the delegates directly from the princes went back home quite early, maybe a month or two before um, the you inherited Troskal Manor. So they've been here and they've gone back into the city. They're around somewhere. Obaya, however, well, it takes about 2 months to travel. So she probably wouldn't have gotten into the city yet. And to her favor, most likely that your good friend Volo is on the same ship as her.
Mm-hmm.
So while you might be expecting her ship to come in soon-ish, you're pretty sure that she wouldn't be in the city yet.
All right.
If you would wait maybe a week or two, maybe she'll be coming in on one ship.
Well, Prince Jobal is the best house to look for guides if we want to find a guide into the jungles.
All right then.
Well, let's go.
But
If you say
of course,
so.
he is still a prince of Port Nyanzaru. We will have to make an appointment first. And even then, we will probably be dealing with one of his
Underlings. Or should we just go to the tavern and already see who?
It is not. We can make a small detour past the Thundering Lizard to have a look at the board, yes.
Yeah, let's start with that.
And perhaps stop for a drink. And there's like a wink from Vroon towards Gale, which is like you've never seen him wink because it's a very human gesture, but it's like, huh? And like it looks super awkward, but it's like, ah.
Gil has a high tap on your shoulder and say, "Well, we'll see what the tavern has to offer."
Okay. It's actually a short walk to the Thundering Lizard. As you and I mean, there is no mistaking it. Um, as you come up a bit, sort of up the street and around the corner, there is a building where the out from the front of the building is an incredibly large, what seems to be a reptilian skull coming out. It is maybe its jaws are wide enough so that a full man could walk through it. The teeth are about maybe a foot long each, and that's just that's just the ones in the front. The ones in the back seem to be as you, Rune, you would know this. This is definitely a thunder lizard. This is a T-Rex, and the sort of, it's the head of the front of the head of the T-Rex is basically sort of opening in the door. You can see that there's a few. No, there would be one man sort of working on sort of painting one of the teeth in front. Clearly being restored. Clearly, this is this is not real T-Rex, real T-Rex bone. It's more of a construct in wood. But the size is definitely evocative. At the front of the building, there is covered. There is a placard on the side. On the side of the building. You can see that there's a whole series of little posters that have been sort of tacked on to to nails. So there's a whole series of nails sort of nailed into the side of the wall, and people have just put in sort of hooked onto them these sheets of paper. And as such, I will be giving you the handouts for the guides that you have.
Good.
So let's start. Let's move this here. Okay. Let's start with her right here. So that is Azaka. This is Eku. Farrell and Gondolo. Hugh Hackenstone.
Oh, there's so many of them.
Musharib.
Okay.
River Mist and Flask of Wine. And finally, Salida.
One too many. I had a nice grid and now
Exactly. I just realized the
it's
same
ruined.
thing. So I am actually going to just so that people can see at least the portraits.
I suggest we quickly just decide on one of them that we're not gonna.
There we go. So I am going to let you read through those, and I will let you discuss, basically. So, who are you looking at first? Apologies to our viewers. This is where it gets very boring because they have a lot of reading to do.
Because suddenly we have 7 entire things to read.
So what I'm going to do is, again, I am going to pause the video on this to let them read a bit at their leisure. And once we're ready to come back, we will be back. For you, it'll just be a blink of an eye. For us, time will tell. See you in a second. And we're back. So, you have read through the 7, well, technically there are 9 of them, but for the 7 different options, is there anyone in particular that you would like to look at or strike from your choices?
I I'm not sure if River Mist and Flask of Wine are a good choice, just because of the fact that they are going against the Merchant Princes.
Yes, I would be tempted to eliminate them first too.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't like it.
Close that one.
Okay, we strike that one from the record.
So another one that I was like, I don't care, because was Musharib, because he seems more interested in
Yeah.
finding his own ancestral homes or something like he's going on a dwarven quest, and
Yeah,
I feel like as soon as we encounter anything dwarven, we've lost him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's a quest.
I
It's a
mean, it's a
quest.
quest, but not our quest.
It's a quest, and if I recall the map correctly, it is a fairly far away quest, so we would see a lot of territory nonetheless.
Yeah.
Eh.
There's actually 3 of them that actually I want to talk to see if they are trustworthy or not. And they are Azeka,
Yeah.
Eku, and Salida.
Yeah. Okay.
I like all of those as well.
I'm not tempted by Farul and Gondolo. That's me
Same here.
personally.
Yeah. I mean, they did not bother me just yet, but
No, I don't like their presentation. It's like
The,
they're
the,
trying to sway us before we've even met them.
I mean, we have plenty of choices still. What
Yeah.
about you?
Who?
Hugh
You
Hackenstone.
Hackenstone.
Ah,
I mean, he's saying that he's fearless, but other than and that his memory is an iron trap and doesn't forget anything. But
I'm Sorsha Dragonsinger. He's been beaten by a dragon. Come on.
Okay, so Farrell and Gondolo I don't like a bit for the same reason of than Hugh Hackingstone, which is both of them promise adventure and treasure. Well,
Yeah.
no, Hugh Hackingstone is I'm fearless, but
yeah,
I would prefer guides that have a bit more respect for the jungle, if you see what I
yeah,
mean.
the jungle is not something. Okay, so you is also often. So I do still indeed have Iku, Salida, and Azaka.
Yes.
So we eliminated Musharib?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
My vote goes.
Musharib is just like he seems way too interested in his own quest, and
Yeah.
I think we'd lose him as soon as he finds something that's dwarf related. And
I'll eliminate him for a first
Are we-
foray in the jungle, if we can
Are we
understand it like that.
eliminating Farul and Gondolo as well then?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, of course, you are left with the ladies.
And
Eku,
oh yeah, that's true.
I am not
Eku is
surprised.
a lady. Eku is
Ek-
not a guy.
Iku is a guy, no?
Yeah.
Or is it a
let
she?
me
Personally-
check, but I do believe that Eku.
Personally, Iku interests me the most because she says like I pay a bit to the prince to be in order, and the rest is to good charity. So I'm like,
Yeah, could be lies also, but yeah.
Well, that's why we have very perceptive people here in our group to see if she lies or not.
Salida, I am not sure of, because Salida is just like she's doing her own commercials by going like, these people suck and these people suck and these people suck, so you should hire me.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm not
pointing
sure
the
about
finger.
her either anymore.
She's
I'm not
like
sure about
pointing the
either.
finger.
Eku is a woman. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
The main reason why I kept those 3 is they're clearly natives.
Good point.
They're natives and
No,
they're less.
there's also native dwarves.
Yeah.
And normally, if we need to pay up a fee of 30 days upfront, also, it's going to be 150 gold.
What's up?
I'm just going to say like now, like I don't like Salida just for the way that she
Yeah,
tries to sell
she points
herself
her
by making
finger.
everyone else.
Yes, but maybe she's a grunt and she's frank and just minding her own business, but we'll see soon enough. But yes.
Oh, by the way, the other reason why I wanted to eliminate River Mist and Flask of Wine is, have you seen the name they're associated with?
Uh,
I have already had enough Zentarium in my life. I don't
Yes.
need to see them
wait,
anymore.
there was Centaur mentioned in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Salida said they owned money.
Money.
To the
According to Salida, they owe money
Yeah.
to the Zentarum.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, still, that's fair, but I also want to rule out Salida, kind of.
Okay.
My vote for ruling out Salida also, because pointing the finger to everyone is quite easy, but the 2 other ones are more humble, more like, hey, we can help, we can do this, but not like, you're bad and you're bad.
Azaka also comes with a personal quest.
I don't want to eliminate Salida because you saw that merchant beforehand. It was humble and modest and tried to screw you up.
Yeah, I think we could talk to the 3 of them and see after we
Yeah,
met them
exactly.
what how and see which one of the 3 is in the city, because they might not be
Oh yeah,
Mm.
true,
there, all
actually.
3 of them.
All right.
Good point, good point. Well, we have some talking to do.
Yeah, we've reduced and let's see in person. And then Rune, if you don't feel it, we won't take her. Of course.
That goes for all of us.
Okay.
Everyone needs to be comfortable with their guides.
Of course.
I can assure you, if one person goes on an adventure into the jungle with a guide they do not care for, it doesn't end well in any case.
True.
So,
So
what? So you are still you were contemplating these. You're contemplating these possibilities. Let's put it that way. And you are now, therefore, looking into, well, thinking about hiring one of them. So, what do you do? You're still at the front of the Thunder Lizard.
You want to go inside, have a drink, and inquire if any of those 3 is in town?
Very
yes,
well.
maybe even in the bar.
Who knows?
Um, as you head towards the entrance of the establishment, have a quick step over the teeth of the bottom jaw of the T-Rex, narrowly avoiding the bottom of the top teeth as you sort of bow in.
Especially Vroon.
Especially Vroon, yes. As you walk into the tavern, if if when you went into Kaya's, you found yourself that respite of the bustle of the street, this is the exact opposite. As you enter, it immediately reminds you of the yawning portal on big days. You can hear laughter, ruckus, people shouting at each other, laughing. There is a roar within this establishment, which completely drowns out the street behind you. You can bear as you move about the as you enter. You can see that across the center line of the tavern, from the front door towards the back, you can see that there is the carved in wood, most likely, or at least you're hoping, is the central spine of the beast's whose head is at the front, and you can see that on the sides, instead of beams, you can see rib cages painted in bleached white that sort of enter the encompass the rest of the bar, and so falling down on the walls. On one end you have the bar. There you can see multiple waiters and waitresses moving about the tables, moving either small kegs of tej or other drinks and food here and there. There's a heavy smell of grilled fish, but mixed in with that of grilled meat, and it is very much a tavern uh, for adventurers. If you can see some of the plates, I would describe some of the platters that are being brought as the ones that you can see in the Monster Hunter. These are gorged with food of all types, and sort of dropped in front of um, either soldiers, adventurers, tourists from all over.
Seeing the food reminds me, what time is it right now?
I mean, it should be roughly around noon, maybe early afternoon.
Wanna stop and have a meal?
It would be the time for a meal, yeah.
Perfect.
I could eat.
Why not?
As you you sort of try to catch someone's attention to sort of bring to get to you, it takes a while, and you start to think that maybe you need to be a bit more direct, I guess, as you can see that a lot of the waiters are being directly almost sort of not manhandled, but sort of grabbed, or it's one of those things where when somebody orders, somebody stops a waiter or sort of grabs or yells across the room to get their attention.
I'll tap the shoulder of the first one who comes by.
Okay. Yeah, sort of one of them sort of stops by. You can see he's very much of a darker complexion, almost the skin almost charcoal black, and in the heat of this sort of closed large room, again he's wearing the Luxodon special. He's only wearing sort of trousers, a sash around the waist. And maybe a sort of a whitish table, sort of cloth around his neck, that is stained with whatever he might wipe off the different tables. He says, "Ah, yes, I will be with you in a moment. One moment, I will be back." And so he sort of moves forward towards the end of to another table. You wait another maybe 5-10 minutes as before he comes back and says, "Yes, I apologize for the delay. How can I help? What can I get you?"
What is there to eat?
Whatever you might fancy. I'm sure we have it in the kitchen. And if not, well, the docks are right across.
I'll
Ribs.
Ribs
look
it
at.
is, yes. So meat then. Broth?
Yes.
Soup?
I want a curry.
Ah, yes. Of course.
Grilled
he-
fish for me.
I'm hearing an echo. Is that someone? Anyway.
Oh, probably you because you're talking very loudly suddenly.
I will close the door.
I'm hearing myself. Yes, it's because.
I'm hearing myself. Is that better? That better? That better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying grilled fish.
Yes. Fish. Ribs. Any preference,
The
or should
curry.
I surprise you?
Surprise me with meat.
Then you will be surprised, sir. And for you, curry. Yes? Okay.
Local.
A good ale
Mm.
for everyone.
That's
Just for me. The heat, that much heat and alcohol. Yeah.
Tea then.
It might surprise you, but hot foods, spicy, makes it easier to handle the heat outside.
yes. Listen to him. He is wise in his advice.
Spices, yes. Alcohol.
Alcohol, not so much.
Very well.
But some ale is fine.
Ale then.
Ale it is. Yes. I will be back. And before he goes, he will collect from you. Let's put a silver apiece, a silver a head.
Okay.
A price.
No, sorry. This would be sorry. Yeah, make it a silver a head. Yeah.
I'll pay an electrum for everyone.
Who uses electrum? Seriously.
I was
who
just gonna say, like, you use a what?
What?
That's Luskin money.
Okay.
Okay,
Money
he
is
sort
money.
of takes it, looks at it, bites it, puts it in his sash, and that's 5, right?
One electrum is 5 silver pieces.
Yeah. So he pulls
it's
out
a
a silver
tip.
piece. He pulls out a silver piece, places it on the table.
No.
Again, the transaction is not with him, so you don't keep the change. If you pay him more, or Rune maybe sort of explains it to you after the interaction that you saw with the gold coin. If you pay for if somebody gives you a price and you pay more, that is basically saying, yes, but I wanted more and I did not get it. It is basically saying that to them, this is what I think you should be worth, but you are underselling yourself. And that is very much an insult to a capitalist endeavor, a capitalist religion like the Temple of Joaquin. If you underpay, the thing is, if you underpay, they can. It's even sneakier because if you underpay, it's an insult as well because you're saying, I don't think you're worth that much. But they can complain. If you overpay, they can't complain, which means that it's an even more stab. It's the rich man throwing, yes, here you go. It's dismissing them if you overpay. So they will always give you back because that is the transaction. Plus, you are not transacting with the waiter; you're transacting with the restaurant. And if you pay more, if he keeps it for himself, then he's stealing from the establishment, essentially.
So tips don't exist, or do they?
I am going to place my foot on it and saying tips should be illegal. Tips should not be the basis of a person's
Wait.
salary
Shouldn't-
Oh.
and
It shouldn't
wage.
be the basis. However,
It could exist.
if you're not in America,
Yeah.
it's sometimes very much appreciated if you go like, "Hey, you know what? Thank you
You
for
did a
your
good
extra
job.
service."
I agree. I agree. So to all those watching in the States, I don't know what you're doing, guys. Anyways, move to Europe. Get vaccinated, move to Europe. Anyways, so back on track. So the food is fairly quickly prepared in a sense. I mean, it's not that simple. It's not that complicated, right? It's put on the grill. It's spiced up. I am going to have all of you make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Everyone is within 10 feet of me, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone gets a +3.
Oh,
I don't
plus
have
3,
to
okay.
take. I don't have to calculate in the +3 because mine does it automatically. But everyone else just add a +3 to your.
Damn. I
Oh.
think your plus
And then I
three
roll a,
just
and then
saved
I roll
me.
a crit.
Wait, your Constitution save is only a +3? Your basics?
Yeah, I'm a paladin. I'm not a fighter. I'm a paladin. Wisdom and charisma.
Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, which so yeah, you so
Vroon
you know.
has a +6 constitution.
No, he has a +3
No,
because
I
his
have a
aura
+3.
gives a +3.
But
So
the aura
Oh,
gives
okay,
+3.
yeah.
For me, it's already calculated in. Everyone else should just add 3 to their
Yeah.
roll.
So I have a
15.
13. Good.
yeah, so something about Vroon's presence sort of maybe soothes the scalding impression of the I mean, I had put it 15, so nah, I'll be gentle. No, it's
14 is going to be enough.
yeah, 14 might be enough. Yeah, 13. Anyways, doesn't matter. The fact is, this is if you thought you were hot before, just the fact of engulfing the food immediately, that sheen of sweat gets a second coating. There's a moment where you're realizing, oh god, it's going down, and at some point it's going to come out. It's that kind of spice, especially since apparently Vroon's order of local was applied to all three of you white folk.
Sorry. I know that's a bad idea, yeah.
So there's definitely a moment where that's why I put it at 15. So Sorsha and Gale, despite the soothing environment of Vroondomon, you're very much going. The fortunately there is bread, there is things to sort of rinse your mouth off. Heinrich, what had you ordered? You had ordered the surprise, yes. So the meat that both of you actually received is actually dinosaur meat. It is I forget the name of the meat itself.
We've ate those before it ate us.
Now we have become stronger. What
Mm,
doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
actually, I believe it's the real name of the it's the smaller cousin of the Velociraptor. So Dino something. Anyways, this smallish dinosaur, and so you find yourself what you think looks like a roast turkey, in a sense, but it's red meat. As you pour it into it, you're going. There's a different texture but it basically looks like large chickens, except that the claws have an extra sort of hangnail at the tip, which you are expected actually, as you can see on other tables, to break off and use as cutlery.
Oh.
As in, so you break it off and then you rip the piece apart, and that's how you eat it.
I guess that's
Interesting.
efficient.
Not disappointed at all. Not disappointed at all.
No, and maybe for you, they sort of maybe put in the, well, I mean, you're used to Vroon's cooking, maybe a bit sort of fancier on the spices and such. So, but yes, you're having the meal, and while fulfilling, there is that moment where we're going, this is gonna get this is you're gonna need to get used to this. It's that first time you've gone into an Indian restaurant in New Delhi. Hot.
How you
You were
telling
saying?
your vacations, your holidays?
Oh yes, I'm talking about it. I'm talking from experience. Yes, very much so.
New Delhi was fine. Varanasi was a pain in the ass, though. Literally, like
It went in and went out.
when it came out, pain in the ass.
White,
Mm.
white people problems.
Yeah,
Yes.
very much. So, what do you want? What do you want to do?
Mm.
So,
Yes,
at some point, he would have come back to sort of drop the different plates. These are they would be the meals would be served in these wide wooden bowls. And you were expected to bring your own cutlery if you need them. You can see that a lot of the other patrons either use knives that they have at their so every man and woman has a sort of a knife that they sort of common use knife that they use for eating. A lot of the foreigners use their whatever things. You can see a couple of tabaxi just go shlick and then just go right in. So it's it's just these wide wooden bowls and a couple of flagons of ale. As he sort of drops that at the table, and you sort of start exploring the meals, he says, "Is there anything else I can help you with?"
Fruits, please.
You would have mentioned that in the meal, but yeah, I heard you mention that.
Are there which people do you want to talk again with?
Salida, Aka, Azuka,
Iku, Azaka, and Salida.
Are one of those three people present here for the moment?
Mm.
Around or in the city?
Yeah.
Azaka usually comes in the evenings for her evening drink. Salida, I have not seen her in some days. I think, but Eku, yes, she is there in the corner.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Then we know where to start.
Let's see. I just want to verify. Yeah, I basically rolled to see who was there.
Fair.
So, as
Could you pay her a beer and invite the lady to our table if she's free?
I will let her know that you are asking of her.
Thank you very much.
You see her sort of move. You see him sort of move to the back of the room, being caught with somebody else. It sort of again sort of moves about, and you basically dig into your meals. About maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, you see. Let me give you her. I will. I mean, you have her handout, right? So you don't necessarily need. Is it Eku? Here we go.
That's for the viewers at home.
That's well, it's for you basically.
Hmm.
So let's see. Echo. Oh no, right, they would be at the back. Okay. Nope. 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 Okay. Yes. No. The so I'll have to do it here, which means that yes, the viewers at home are going to get, of course, all the spoilers with regards to the person's background.
That means we should not be watching this episode.
Well, you can start the beginning, but please don't watch the
No.
rest. No.
Okay.
So
I'll
yes,
sling.
you see, she is from what you can see, sort of walking through the tables. She's a middle-aged Chalton woman, yet she walks with a confidence that you might not expect of someone her age. Almost there's a spring in her step, not a spring in her step. It's as she walks, expecting the ground to be there. That when she puts in a step, things will happen. She will walk forward. And you can see that people sort of move. She makes her way um, uh, through the crowd with a certain amount of ease and let's say a habit. Um, and she comes up to you to the four of you. I have been told that you wish to speak to me. Are you looking for a guide then?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Would you like to sit down?
Before I do so, I would like to know what you are looking for in the jungle.
That is a complicated question.
But the answer should be simple.
Hmm. It is not.
I think if we're gonna travel with the person in question, we could release a bit of information to you know what I mean.
Well, we have not decided yet whether we are to travel with her.
She raises a hand up and says, well, then answer this. What are you looking for? Do you have a place in mind? Or do you simply wish to wander the jungle?
We have a place in mind, but we don't know the place.
We are looking for something very precise, but we do not know where it is, and certainly not how to get there.
I sling my ring. Just so you know.
Okay. So, make me. So, you're slipping the ring off, right? Within your glove. That's how we've done it previously. Thing is, I've tried that. It's fairly difficult to do, especially discreetly.
Under the
hmm?
You know? Under the table.
Under the table. Okay. Let's say that you use your shifting to sort of build, you make your hand smaller or whatever. Okay. There's okay.
Sleight of hand check, maybe, or
Yeah, make me a sleight of hand check. Just
Sure.
nice. Okay. Very nice. By the way, if you want to use that, you need to. It's a spell. Remember that we're Sorsha. If I'm thinking of what you're thinking of doing, it's not something.
Yeah.
It's not a passive.
No, it's not a passive, but the way it's acting,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bit more than the spell because of the doppelganger nature.
Right. Yeah, but the fact is, you still need to. It's something that you do. You can concentrate on that once a day, so it's the equivalent of making
Yes,
of. So is that what you want to do? Is that you want to? Okay.
absolutely.
Um, right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Right. So you. So tell me what you do, basically.
Basically, I surveil um, her thoughts to see if she's truthful
Okay.
Trustworthy.
or she
Trustful.
has hidden intents or something. I don't go deep because I don't want to intrude. I just want to know if she's trustworthy or not.
Can I ask from you a stealth roll, please? But do not use dexterity. Use wisdom. So if you're proficient in wisdom. You're proficient in stealth, correct?
Yes.
So roll your wisdom saving throw, and add +2.
Do I know what she's doing?
No, you have no idea.
Then I won't
We
use.
are at +3 proficiency now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that would be that would be an 11. Okay. Um.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. This is interesting. Can you make me Okay, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
With a +3. With a +3.
No.
Yes, that is with a +3.
That is true.
Saving
Yeah.
throw is with a +3.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Vroondomon.
Nice. Okay.
Natural 20.
That's a natural 20. So for
27,
27,
yes.
good, very, very good.
Oof.
So there's a moment where, as you try to skim her thoughts, you come against a blank wall. Blank wall. And her attention turns towards you. And you have that sensation of that sort of scratching at the edges of your thought as to trying to go to discern your intention going deeper as she's looking into your eyes, and she says, this time out loud, my thoughts are my own, little one. I would not have you rummaging in there.
Oh,
It is
I didn't
impolite.
want. True. But if things are going well, we're going to have each other's lives in each other's hand for a long time. So, pardon me for being a bit rude.
Yes.
I think Vroon sort of interjects and goes like, well, I'm not sure what this is about,
Oh, I was
but
thinking if basically she was trustworthy or not.
I see. Well, I just have some questions, if you don't mind.
And I will answer them
You
politely.
say... Hmm? You
First,
say that you only want the money to pay for the merchant prince, and the rest you give to charity. what do you live from then, if not from this job?
Do you not believe that a Chaltian woman can do without coin?
No.
Then you are of the city then. I know the jungle, and it feeds me.
Can I do an
Whatever I need for coin or for Joaquin scales.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd love to do one too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do
Okay,
it the
Vroondomon.
old-fashioned way.
Sorsha,
Oh.
you're a bit. I mean, Sorsha, you're a bit rattled by the fact that not only that it's that
Yes.
she's knocked you off.
She blocked me
She blocked
and
you.
tried to knock back.
Return the favor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I already like her.
Je ne fais rien pour répondre.
As far as as far as you're aware, she is being honest with you.
What is the charity?
Human misery.
That is very generic.
In the shadow of the merchant princes, as good as they might be for the city, many are not so lucky. And in the shadows of their home, people starve. I bring food, I bring clothing. And in the city, for that I need coin.
And is that all you need from us? Coin.
I need to understand, I need you to understand that I am not in need. If I do this, it's because I feel that I can help you. And therefore you can help me. I have no wish for riches. I have no wish for and the GM's looking for his words.
All right.
Then she gives you the impression that she's not one for material wealth. No, well, there's the words. I am not in need of material wealth. The jungle provides, and I know how to live simply. But I understand that in a city like this, such reasoning might look suspicious.
You sound too good to be true.
And maybe I am. But then again, so do you. Child
Please.
of Joaquin. Sometimes things are the way they are. Sometimes they are not. Should you wish to take me as your guide into the jungle, you know where to ask for me. I know that you have others that you wish to interview. Do so. And then we will talk. And at no moment did she sit down. She just continues her way towards the front door and exits, unless one of you does something.
No, but as soon as she leaves, it's definitely like Vroon goes like, She seems too good to be true, but also sincere. And there's like a huh in this city. What? Like she wants to like not feed herself but other people. Like that doesn't sound right. What?
By the way, Vroon, you have that ring of truth saying, right?
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah. So technically, on that insight with regards to the lie, if it was
it,
for
I
with
had
regards to lie,
advantage if it
you had
was.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have pointed it out if
It's still a
had
natural
been.
19. So.
I mean, it was a 19. If it came up the other way around, I would have said like I have advantage by the way.
Yeah. I get it.
Guys, what do you think?
Well, we've seen Iku.
Good contender.
Yes.
She's interesting
Though
more that she appears.
Do you want to go to the Merchant Prince you wanted to see? Or maybe where do you think we could find information in the city? The temples should know something, no?
That's a
Which
good
one?
point.
Well, there is Gond, but I'm not sure I would go to Gond.
Sune,
Sorry?
Savras, Sune, Savras,
Sunny Beauty? I'm not sure.
and then of course the Hall of Gold.
Mhm.
Joaquin.
Where would you go for?
There's also one of tomorrow.
Wisdom and knowledge?
So you've got the Temple of Savras, which is the deity of wizards, fortune tellers, diviners, and who
Okay.
unfailingly speak the truth regardless of whether listeners want to hear it. The Temple of
Okay.
Gond, which you have good knowledge of, at least its equivalent in Waterdeep. The Temple of Sune. Let's see. Sune is the goddess of beauty and will. Well, as far as you know, understand, it is. Okay, so Rune, from this video, you know, inside,
Yes.
Sune is faithful and casual visitors alike can partake in public baths, receive lessons in applying makeup and styling one's hair, and learn to dress in a manner that suits the individual's body, profession, and the climate. So it's basically a well-being spa.
I'll be right back.
Well,
No, my idea behind the fact of going to the temples is, didn't was it the black staff or was it it's getting late. What was her name again? The one who teleported? Sylvain?
yeah.
Okay. Who mentioned that the temples had been
It was the Blackstaff who mentioned
the
that
black
the
staff.
oracles had the oracles of had were the ones who had mentioned Chult and the word soulmonger.
Okay, so if the oracles from Waterdeep pointed to Chult, maybe if we go to Savras and see what their oracles have found, they could give us a little extra information.
That could be a good point. By the way, Sorsha, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I remembered something and I needed info from our GM.
Mm-hmm.
Remember last time I told you that I took with me one of the lantern?
Yes.
Did it turn green at some point?
You would have had that lantern lit at your side.
Yeah, why not?
well, I would have had. Hmm.
It's not the big one. It's one of the mini
Yeah,
one.
yeah, the small ones. Yeah. Let's see. I would say. Um, hmm. I would say no.
That's actually a good info.
Sorry, I took too long to hesitation. Do not take that as a clue.
Don't worry. But yes.
Well, the idea to go to the oracle, to the other oracles, that would be a good idea. But also the temple of Soon. You see him like twirl a bit his fingers, like the temple of Soon interests me also. It's quite important to be open for other cultures and understanding, and I'm quite sure that it would be interesting and refreshing also.
Is that not something that you might want to return to once we've ventured into the jungle for a while?
You're a man of many wise words, Vroondomon.
So, just so you know, the Temple of Savras is. I'll put that here. The Temple of Savras is here in 7. And the Temple of Sune is up here. So one is on the way to the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Though you would have to, you would have to, at some point, come up to here and decide if you go this way or if you go that way.
Mhm. But
So,
you know what?
What I will say is that as you have maybe a couple of hours before the end of before the afternoon. At least you're told that Azaka might make an appearance in the evening. You have a couple of hours before that. You can decide if you wish to go to the temples. However, what I will say is I will give you a week or so to discuss, as
man.
that is where we're going to leave tonight. It is
Fair enough.
close to midnight, and
Any new
we're
scene will just add another half hour at
exactly.
least.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
thank you for this evening. As we fade away on the ruckus of the thundering lizard, um, moving up again as the credits roll, we can hear the sound of the jungle beckoning to the adventurers, and something a bit more sinister lying underneath, awaiting, expecting. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. So thank you all. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon. And, well, oh, yes, before we do that, I had mentioned that to a couple of the players earlier, but I think this is something to be done for for the folks at home, as they say. We want to have a conversation about the status of the Luxodon within Port Nyanzaru, as this was something completely homebrewed that we prepared a couple of months ago with Jan when we knew that we were going to be playing Tomb of Annihilation and that he might be coming from Chult.
I mean, we'd already decided he was from Chult
Yes,
at the
yeah.
start of Waterdeep.
True.
Then we didn't know yet that we'd actually be going to Chult. And that was like, oh, yeah, we need to think about this.
So we had come up with the whole idea that Luxodon being very sort of slow but very strongly built, that they would maybe have a status of working class within Port Nyanzaru. And then we decided that maybe the Luxodon wouldn't be too many. And basically, we moved into this conversation about the sacred beast, as they would be seen as good luck charms, but considered not second rate. It's not that they're considered second rate people. They are not really considered people. They're considered walking luck charms or walking sacred animals. The same way.
Okay.
I mean, kind of the same way that you would regard, if you take, again, from a Westerner's point of view, maybe a cow in India, whereas we accept them, we don't disturb them, they do their thing, they are useful, but they're not really human. They're not really one of us. They're outside. Very, very sketchy analog to what we discussed. But yes, we decided that we were going to not be too harsh on the whole slavery equivalent. But Gab, you did pull up the question, so it was close enough, I guess, to rattle some feathers. But that was completely. It was the intent to rattle the feathers, and we wanted then to reassure you on the fact that no, these are not. These Luxodon are not slaves.
Okay.
Any questions from you with regards or remarks with regards to? No?
No, it's okay.
I thank you for your trust.
I already miss Waterdeep, strangely enough.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse.
That's the nice thing. Like, Vroon was always missing Port Nyanzaru, even though it's not a place where he's...
Yeah, but I can understand. You guys have a bloody temple with a spa in it. Come on. Even I am gonna be like, massages and beauty and health tips?
Just
Yes.
wait until you get to the Mother of Mists.
Sune is a Omnian and a Sword Costian god, so technically there's most likely there is a temple to Sune in Waterdeep. There is one.
Invaders.
Yes.
Yes, they have school tavern, but ours is much better. Okay, we have a ghost bartender. We have a grumpy bartender. We
You have a bartender who, when he flirts, he says, "Who do you want me to be?"
yeah.
What's your type? I'm just asking for a friend. Oh, and there's here's the friend now. Yeah.
Look over there.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note,
When are we playing?
we'll
Let's
discuss that.
do that off camera.
Well, let's
Yeah.
do that off camera. Let's see you in a bit. And
Bye bye.
bye bye.
Bye.